Hello, we're here. We're on. Hi, hello
Yeah.
everybody.
Welcome, welcome,
Have a cat
welcome
tail
to
Yeah.
that
this
looks like
week
an
tonight. Wait,
appendage
that's
of
not the
your
right
body.
show.
It's true.
This cat loves to just like get in the way the second that I have to actually start doing anything. She's been sleeping for like 8 hours. It is like, oh, you're about to like get busy and focused. Like, how about pay attention to me instead? So that's cat life. Cool. How is everyone?
Good, good.
Going good. I've just
Which is
been playing
great.
Pokemon Snap all weekend.
Yes, Pokemon Snap, the big new hype. Like Sheldon was selling us on it a little bit beforehand. I had a couple of friends telling me about it, saying that it was really good. But I like just missed Pokemon. I think I was a few years out in front of it. Like I could have gotten into it, but I just was like, oh, I'm too old for this. Which I was like 12, you know. And yeah.
I
Yeah,
tried
I'm
watching.
sure at the time you're like, that's a baby game.
I tried watching the show. I remember watching the anime for a little bit, and like I was like, "Oh, this is really interesting." But then, very much, I had a moment where I was like, "Oh, his whole thing is he wants to catch them all, but if he catches them all, the show would be over. So he can never actually catch them all." And with that knowledge,
Kevin
I was just like,
analyzing
"I'm
story
gonna
already.
stop doing this." Yeah, and so like I tapped out, realizing that I'm like, "Wait, the story by its virtue can never end." So I'm not gonna do that.
I know it's a very Prison Break season 2 problem.
Right? Oh my god! Oh, I was just talking about Prison Break recently, and like how good that first season was. And I can only imagine
And
like
then they broke out.
they wrote like a solid first season of a Prison Break, and then like Fox was like, "You were renewed for a second season," and they were like, "We were what now?" And so it's like, oh no, what do we do? And yeah, man, what a hard turn on a show.
It feels like the death knell of a lot of shows. Like, hey, you got picked up, you know, and like that's like the beginning of the end, right? So,
It's we're disparaging Prison Break season 2. Come on now.
No, I was like, I don't know what that means.
I have not Prison Break though. I've heard interesting things about that as well. What about what is it, Shadow and Bone? Are any of y'all
Shadow
watching
and
that?
Bone?
Yeah.
I am. Yeah.
What's the
Anybody else
download?
can just
It's in my
I
list.
watched the first
Melissa
episode.
is.
Yes,
I think
Melissa
Josh is. Round Howard in the chat.
Round Howard in the chat. What
He
do
is
you
in the
think,
chat,
Kevin?
by the way. He hasn't said hi yet, but I see that he's here.
Hmm.
Oh, not worth it from Josh.
Not worth it.
Wow,
Life is
I don't
too
know if I
short.
agree with that. I think it depends on your mileage on YA fiction.
Have you read it, Kevin?
You love Twilight, so
I do love Twilight, but I haven't read it. Melissa has, and I've been like messaging and DMing her where I would ask her a question and she would just give the side eye, not able to answer it. And then like moments later, the answer comes, and I like message her just like "Holy like all caps, and then she starts laughing. So it's been fun doing that.
She said she's really into it. I was talking with her the other day. She's a friend of ours. She'll be appearing next week, not making her DM Philly debut, but Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Uh-oh, we lost a Zed.
Oh no, what did I do?
I don't know.
I turned off my camera somehow.
Yeah.
I'm here. I didn't go anywhere.
Okay, good. Good. Yeah, Tuesday, get hype. 8 p.m. Eastern, Twitch TV/DM Philly, Dragonfly, D&D, in space, featuring Kurt, Zed, and Taylor from this very show. It's going to be wild. We got a killer cast list. The art is getting done. It might even be here by Tuesday. And it's a pretty cool campaign, I think. We spent like a month doing world building. But the elusive Melissa of whom we speak that is hyping up Shadow and Bone will appear on Tuesday if you want to show up and ask her in
She
the
appeared
chat
on
what
Friday.
thinks. She sure did. True story. I'm really
I'm
excited
excited
for
to
that.
see what that is.
Yeah.
Is it named?
You guys have been
is it
hinting.
Dragonfly from Firefly? Because I feel like
So,
it was right there.
I mean, we're
Right?
playing
Like,
in
that's-
Kings of Neon right now, right? So certainly there's energy there. But I'm like using a lot of the traditional second edition Spelljammer stuff. Like Spelljammer was the D&D campaign from second edition that was D&D in space. And there's one particular ship that's called the Dragonfly. And I really liked it as like a model and the idea of like, oh yeah, this has got to be the ship they get. And so it just was too easy, you know, like low hanging fruit. You got to take it. Premiere date, May the 4th, like everything is aligning, you know? Yeah, so that's cool. So, when last we left our crew here in City of Mist, you all had tracked one individual to the basement fight club of the bar side, or the dockside bar. The
Are you doing the montage, Rich? Is that what's happening?
I'm not.
Because you're stealing so more 10% of my thunder.
I'm sorry. I'll back off. I'll let you bring the thunder. But I'm just saying, as we find ourselves tonight, you all are about to get into a scrap, and we haven't talked
12%, Rich.
12%. We haven't talked about the rules for combat, and before we get into our dramatic opening monologue, I just wanted to stop down and talk about like how much of combat we should dig into as a group. We had a little discussion, and I think we should explain some of it for the sake of those who are going to watch and follow along, but probably more important for the sake of you 5 people who will roll dice to keep your characters alive. So
that is important.
Combat in City of Mist is really interesting because nothing really changes. And what I mean by that is that we're going to use all the same rules we have been using. All the like core rules that we've been working off of. Convince, change the game, face danger, go toe-to-toe, hit with all you've got, sneak around, take the risk to investigate. These are all the things we're going to use in combat. There's no initiative. Nobody has hit points. We've dealt with a couple of statuses. Statuses are like tags that get attached to your character when something happens to them. And they likely inhibit you. In a fight, if I punch you, I may give you like a dizzy 1 or a reeling 2 or a, throbbing head 3, right? The statuses will all like increase in terms of their number, and we try to like increase the verbiage as the number goes up because it's a game of names, not numbers, or words, not numbers, right? So the idea here is that all of you are up and active and participating until you reach 5 statuses. Or a level 5 status is the better way to say it. And at that point, you're incapacitated. At level 6, you're either dead or you are irrevocably changed. Now, we have power here. Characters in comic books don't always die when they get their clocks cleaned, or they get like atomized or vaporized or thrown into the sun or into a volcano or whatever it is, right? So this could be an interesting moment of evolution if one of you ends up unfortunately beaten into the ground. And you might change. You might manifest new abilities. You might come back different, stranger, stronger, weirder. All of that's like worst case scenario.
In a black suit with long hair for whatever.
All of that's kind of like worst case scenario stuff. But the idea is as you take hits, you'll get statuses. And the way the statuses add up, like, this is hard for me to interpret for the folks without a visual aid, but like essentially 2 statuses of the same level. If you get like level 3 winded, and then I hit you again with like a level 3, like, reeling, or like broken bones, those 2 level 3s combine into 4, right? But the idea is you basically need, like, then if you have that level 4 status, and I hit you with like a level 1, like flesh wound, you'll mark just like kind of 1 tracking pip off of 4 towards 5. This is very kind of granular, but the idea is that the statuses can like stack on each other and begin to build. Like if you have a level 4 status and you get 4 more levels worth of statuses, then it increases to 5, right?
Oh, okay. I was going to say you lost me at 3 and 3 makes 4.
Right. Right. So the idea is 3 and 3 makes 4, and 4 and 4 makes 5.
I know I haven't been in school for a while, but I'm pretty sure that's not how it went.
Insert the Katya math gift
I love
that
it.
I like to use all the time, but I'm pretty sure I can do that much addition. I got it. Okay. I think.
The idea, is like 3 and 3 makes 4, 4 and 4 makes 5, right? And so 4 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1 also makes 5 because it's 4 and 4. Words.
Thought this was a game.
I know,
words not numbers.
Words, not numbers.
You're saying an awful lot of numbers.
So don't worry
now.
about all that nonsense. I'm gonna track all that, right? I should be able to manage the statuses as they come. What's important is that we don't have initiative, so we all need to kind of work together. The spotlight moves around the table. Each of you can step in at any point. If somebody's like, "Hey, I'm gonna throw this punch," we figure out which of the moves works. Now to the moves at hand. Face danger. This is when anything's coming at you. When I send something your way and you want to just try to deal with it, whatever it's going to be coming at you. Taylor, I think this one's going to be important for Lyra. Face danger. You're going to roll to deal with whatever's coming in. The most common thing you're going to end up doing is going toe to toe. This is where your opponent's fighting back. Right? And so if you look closely at go toe-to-toe, there are 3 options for the roll. At best, you can only ever choose 2, right? And the options are, one of the options, I'm just going to point out, you block, dodge, or counter, right? So if you're going toe-to-toe with somebody and you roll well and you do not choose that option, that means, sure, you get to hit them, but I'm about to hit you back, right? You chose not to block what I'm sending back at you. So it's often going to be the most important thing you're doing and go toe-to-toe. Hit with all you've got is one of the most specific moves in that we're only going to use that when you have a very clear, definitive upper hand, when your opponent's not resisting you, when this is an kind of mitigated strike against them. Which is rare, right? If we flip the script here and one of you decided to throw a punch in the middle of a conversation, you might be able to hit with all you've got because they're not ready. They don't see it coming, right? Stuff like investigate, sneak around, it may be hard to conceptualize how you use that in a fight, but you can. You could still try to duck into the crowd, move around a pole, go over here, sneak around, have them lose track of you. Investigate, you get your clues. We've played with a lot of clues. You could make the clues really specific about the things you see about your opponent. This is sort of like an Arcana roll or a nature check in D&D. Hey, is there a resistance? You know what I mean? Do I know anything that might help me in this fight? Change the game, huge. It's not as powerful in directly affecting your adversaries, but it's going to give you incredible amount of flexibility and versatility in how you want to modify the narrative around us. I heard somebody say this interesting phrase where change the game lets you edit the story, you get to insert and remove things at your will in a sense, right? So think of it that way. And then finally, I'm just going to direct all you guys back to your help and hurt points. You can burn these like juice to help your friends in the midst of anything, but especially a conflict, right? So having rambled all that stuff at you, do you guys have any questions about that? I also have this handy little handout here in our Roll20 that we're playing in of how you use juice, how you use clues, all this kind of stuff for anybody for a refresher, right? Okay.
Yeah, that was only going to be my question, is just a refresher on juice, but it's there, and I think you covered a lot of it at the end there. It's just kind of your ability to affect in the rolls. We have, some of us have juice, extra stats that we can kind of burn.
Yeah, you basically, your juice mainly you're going to use to convert to story tags, right? All of a sudden you may be able to pick up a pipe off the floor, let me burn a juice, right? That's specifically changed the game, but the help or hurt, it works the same way. Ultimately, you just have this static juice that you get to burn off, right? And don't forget, you guys have that cool crew improvement where whenever you guys create juice for one another, you just earn an extra one for free, because you're all really cool and the library book buddies are badass. Go book buddies.
That's the which one? On the flip side, the tight like that?
Yeah.
Is that what that does? Or?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Tight like that. Exactly. It basically means whenever you are going to do something to give juice to one of your crewmates to help them, you give them an extra one. You get a freebie. Cool. And so with that, unless you all have any questions, I'm going to let Kurt perform the 88% of the monologue that I did not step on for him.
You're doing math.
I can't help it. It's Pavlovian, you know. Round Howard said dragon fruit. Kurt, take us away.
Sorry, I was on mute. There was some loud traffic outside.
No problem.
Dear diary. Oh wait.
That's the wrong stream. That's tomorrow. That's the wrong stream.
That's for Monday nights. But dear diary, it was really great getting everybody together at our stomping grounds at the library. We had some fun time behind the keyboards ahead of us as we were going to be investigating what we thought we knew about what was currently going on. We were just about to do that when the phone that Escher took from that poor defenseless homeless person rang. I don't think any of us expected that, but they answered it, and some strange person on the other end wondering why we took this phone they'd given to this poor defenseless homeless person was ripped out of their hands. But turns out there's actually someone else interested in what's going on with these killings of the dogs. We don't know who this person is. The only clue we had is they referred to everything going on up there. Don't know if that means north of where they're at or they're below ground, but we keep thinking of this person as the kid. We've nicknamed them Billy, and we know that they are just as much against the men in black as we are. With that, Nick and I began researching some of the elements of the crime scene, only to find that there's a lot of overlap between what Nick saw at the latest killing site with some of the characteristics of a buffalo demon from his culture, Mahasashura, or it's not just part of his culture, but it's part of and inextricably tied to the being that is infusing him, Durga. So that's potentially problematic. And just as what we were trying to think about what to do with this, another text came through the phone from this mysterious person showing this bar that we might want to check out. It seemed to be centrally located in amongst all of the killings in the dock area, a bar called Buffalo Wallow. And I don't know if it was a coincidence or not, but we set out that night to check out what it might potentially hold. As we approached, there were a bunch of low-life thugs hanging out outside. They called us nerds. I questioned that, so attempting to stand up for us, when Lyra, not quite sure exactly what she did, but she basically frightened the hell out of all of them and they were running away. I guess we were able to get in then, talk to the owner, found out that not only is this a fight club, which we had not anticipated, but also that Lyndon, the prime number one suspect that we think is potentially, if not responsible, tied into the killings, he's like their champion fighter and he is going to be there the next night. Nick thought it would be a great idea to challenge Lyndon and throw his name in as someone that could potentially come back the next night and fight. And he's been told the owner, the bartender, just to say that it's Durga who's fighting. I guess that maybe a little bit of bait. If this is indeed this buffalo demon whose foe is the deity Durga, maybe that's going to cause them to come out of the woodwork. So we returned the next night, descended into the fight club, and there was Lyndon, our suspect, ready to fight. And things maybe got kicked off a little bit sooner than anticipated because Lyra had to say something smart. And I'm sitting over here in the corner of the bar just finishing off this diary entry as I see this large man swing at Lyra's face. And I'll get back to you because I think the shit is about to hit the fan. P.S. I'm completely kidding. The homeless guy gave us the phone of the
Redemption.
That's right.
Very Monty Python-esque as you're describing the punch being thrown as it's happening. It's just like, wait, see, how did he write this as it was going on?
Also saying, "I'll get back to you" to your diary is very funny.
Yeah, I really love
it.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye. Love that. It's so good.
I love Kurt's Universal Diary soundtrack, but yeah, that's good. You're gonna have to get one for this game. So, I think as the scene crystallizes, we're in the basement of the Buffalo Wallow. There's people packed all around. These kind of cement columns rising up to the ceiling, covered in pipes and wires and conduits and whatnot. People taking bets at some card tables over on the far side of the room as Lyra stands next to Nick, and Lyndon throws a heaving punch at the young woman. Lyra, I'm going to have to ask you to face danger.
Yeah.
You don't say.
So I'm like trying to find tags, right? This is a similar situation.
Yeah, it's exactly the same, right?
Yep.
You're just making moves. So which tags are relevant to you facing the danger of this big dude punching you in the head?
Nimble.
Yeah, that fits.
Heightened senses.
I mean, what do you all think? What do you think? Does that fit? It fits,
Like,
probably.
Because
I
it's
think
coming
so.
in like to dodge it.
I think that probably fits.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if like incorporeal could help me here. But
Yeah,
the acrobat.
I think incorporeal has to help you here if you're trying
Right.
to like phase out in time before he catches you. What were you going to say, Kurt?
Yeah.
I guess that's I mean, I guess that's a question. Like, while she's not incorporeal now, it's a potential action or move she could make in reaction. Can you use tags in that way?
Yeah, you absolutely can, right? This is the thing, like if you do it, say it, if you say it, dude. So we're going through the tags and then you have to justify how they're working. Like tell us what you're going to do, Taylor, and like marry your actions to the tags to make them make sense for us, right?
Cool. Is it dark down here?
No, I think that there's like, it's a very well lit fight club, you know what I mean? It's this whole
great.
like,
Well, that's good.
you know, we want to like see the blood flying, sweat flying around. You know?
Yeah, that's fair, I guess.
Like all fight clubs, it's very well lit.
I know.
Great lighting.
It is.
Like, would acrobat like, you know?
I feel like it has to help. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pop up.
What?
Okay.
Remind me though, Rich. What are the rules for? Not if you're burning a tag, but like, when are all of these tags that Lyra is using here next available to her?
So she can continue. You can call on your tags as frequently as you want. She could immediately respond after this by making her own move and using the same tags. But I'm glad you mentioned burning, because not to like dig too deep into rules. I know, like, you know, I don't want to spend that much time there. But just a reminder for anybody, at any point you can burn one of your tags. By burning your tag, it's basically an automatic 10 on the roll is the idea. That tag then gets burned up. You mark it burned. You cannot call on it until you recover it, which is a thing that we do in montages. So, yeah, you can certainly burn a tag to be like, I'm going to get a 10 on this roll. No dice.
Okay.
Cool.
So what do you got so far? How many you got, Lyra? What are they? Let's collect them all now that you've gone through.
Got 4. I've got incorporeal, heightened senses, acrobat, nimble. Yeah.
Okay, and so tell us what we see.
So yeah, I think he swings and she just does the kind of like, at the same time, like if anybody was watching closely, like she moves really fast, but there's almost like there's like a shadow of her that like moves slightly after she does and just like right out of the way. That, or at least that's what she's trying to do.
like an anime shift.
Like
Yes.
Glacier Beast.
Like you see it now. This show I keep referencing for some reason. Dragon Ball Z over and over again.
Please keep referencing it. The more like Dragon Ball Z we can make anything, the better. So, Lyra, your eyes blink, your senses heighten, your form starts to like shift to incorporality. Go ahead, roll to face danger.
Here we go.
Pressure's on. Wow, that's a full 12 on the roll.
Hell yeah, dude. That's how to start it.
That is a full
Wow.
12 on the
That's-
roll, plus 4. I didn't even call on any weakness tags because I'm like trying to start with benevolence. So I think we see Lyra like spinning and moving with agility and speed. Your form kind of like fading to shadow, like, and Lyndon's fist like throws this huge hook, and I think like it kind of might have just clipped you if not for the incorporality. With that, what do you guys want to do?
Holy hell! Maybe you should be the one in this ring, not me.
Yeah.
I kind of want to trip him a little bit.
Anybody can do anything. This is the part where like all of you can react. Everybody has the power to kind of step in and grab the spotlight. We just all have to be like cool with each other, As somebody like wants to act, we let him act. So you guys, jump right in here.
Does anybody? I don't know if nobody like does anything to sort of stop Lyra, she's gonna try and like just go with the motion that she's already in and like try and like knock him on his ass.
How is she gonna try to knock him on his ass? As she continues like moving into this spin, what do we see?
Like, yeah, I think she spins and she goes down and does the like leg sweep.
I think you mean sweep the leg. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so Lyra's going to sweep the leg. I think this means you're rolling go toe to toe.
Great. This is great.
So
Iggy's like,
Here we go.
I just assumed there was a set like arena for the fighting. I didn't think it just happened anywhere we wanted.
Yeah,
Just
I
have
thought
Fight Club.
as he's talking to Iggy, he's like, I thought there were rules as well. I mean, you would think that someone would be here to break this up. This
Did
fight
she?
She's like
outside
hanging
of
back, having a
Yeah.
drink. They want
Did-
nothing to do with the violence, the
Yeah.
physical. That's not.
look how
Not
quickly
really
the
very
ties
big
that
deal.
bind just like collapse as violence
No,
is
I mean,
engaged. Like,
I'm right with Escher. I'm like,
This
that's like,
is
I
not
didn't
a
realize
threat
that.
to the group.
Yeah,
This is not like. This
I
is
didn't
not
realize.
the Agents Anderson threatening our lives with like bringing down the weight of the government on us. This is some
Guy,
guy.
Spider-Man is just trying to
punch
clock me in the face.
Yeah, and
That's
she's doing
it.
great.
I didn't,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't realize Lyra paid the $100 entry fee. That's what surprises me the most.
Got $100. I got him for free. Now that I'm in here, I'm gonna do what I want.
Okay, so we see Lyra's legs snap out as she like rolls into like this sweeping motion. What do you got?
All right. Well, first and foremost, I'm gonna I think my light in the dark. I think I'm gonna add some more cracking to that because
Because don't pay attention to me while I'm saving
she
the
is
world.
just not even. She's just going for it. She's not even thinking about that. Like now she's pissed. Somebody's throwing a punch at her. Like, yeah, no.
I dig
no,
it.
no.
So just to like dig into that a little bit, Lyra's personality is that she is like a light in the dark, and her identity associated with that is please don't look at me while I'm saving the world. And Taylor, like you can expand on that, but it's this notion that like you want to do right, but you're not looking for all this attention, right?
And yeah, it's just so happens that her personality is now like since she has woken up,
Mm-hmm.
she's no longer afraid of people seeing her, and she's going to do what needs to be done.
Okay, excellent. So this is Lyra making a hard choice to like commit to this moment, and instead of like de-escalating and kind of vanishing into the background to let the bigger personalities deal with this, she's gonna like step into the spotlight because it's a very well lit fight club. So we mark crack. Yes,
Great.
yes, Kurt.
Yes.
Well, Iggy's looking around for like, is there like a panel of light switches?
I think that means Iggy's trying to change the game to make it dark.
No, no, he's trying to see if there's any light switches.
Iggy's going to make an investigate roll then.
That he could do.
Okay. So like as we see Lyra like sweeping, Iggy's like head pivots, taking in the room. I'm gonna shift the spotlight to you as you're like scanning the room for the light switches. What do we got here, Iggy?
I have physical objects and electricity.
Well, both those things are relevant. You are sensitive to electricity and highly attuned to physical objects.
And attention to detail.
Oh yeah, that fits. Attention to detail totally fits. Let's see. I just want to look at your weakness tags. Are you calling in any weaknesses or no? I think I have to call on performance anxiety.
I would disagree. I'm just looking around. I'm not performing.
Yeah, I agree
I'm simply
with that
looking.
too, actually.
You agree with Kurt? Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I don't blame you. I'm just reaching.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
No, I mean, I do. I agree with Kurt that like he's looking.
Mm-hmm.
He's not trying to do anything yet. He's just trying to gather information.
Mm-hmm.
There's no performance
He's
here.
making a plan. If he tries to enact that plan, that's something else.
Unless the other voices in my head judge me for what I'm thinking.
For looking for a light switch.
No, internal judgment might be a problem, but it's not one of your weakness tags, so I unfortunately can't use that against you. Go ahead. You may make an investigate roll with your 2 power of physical objects and electricity.
And attention to detail.
Oh, and attention to detail, +3, investigate.
Where? Oh, it's on my character sheet. I was like, where
Is there an advantage, Rich, to us calling on our weakness tags ourselves?
No, it's
Or is that just like really playing collaboratively with you?
It's playing collaboratively with me, but the advantage is that that's your advancement, right? Like,
Attention,
yeah, by
yeah.
calling on your weakness tags, you're marking attention. So it's an opportunity for you to complicate the situation for yourself a little bit, but also to drive yourself forward for growth.
Gotcha.
That
10.
That's a nice solid roll. So you essentially have 3 clues. Go ahead and ask. We know what the first question is.
What is the control mechanism for the lights down here?
You see a panel, right? There's like a circuit panel. Next to it are like a series of the kind of like industrial kind of switches for a bunch of lights, you know. Yeah, sure.
So it's not a simple light switch. It's like the big.
Yeah, there's like a handful of those. It's not even that big. They're like the small, like kind of like hand snaps, right? But there's like 4 or 5 of them next to each other. It's not one light switch. There's a handful of them.
And how far away are they?
They're not far, just on the opposite side of the room as you. A distance you could close.
Like 30 feet or 90 feet?
Probably about 40 feet.
Okay. That's all.
And so you still have a clue to mark. You're hanging on to it.
Well, yeah, you answered my question. I don't think I have any more.
I know, but you could use it later to interrogate other stuff about this room. That's why I'm noting it. So just keep trying.
Does it have to be specific to the lighting?
No, it could be about this room. Anything about this room, right? Like, in other words, the source was you examining the space, and like the source and the method define what you can use it for. And the source and the method are like this room, and you examining it closely with an attention to detail.
Are you counting how far away from me is it as one of the investigate questions?
Yeah. I shouldn't.
Oh, that was a waste of a wish.
Yeah. I'm being a jerk. Like, I don't really have to if you don't want, but also.
You are. Then is there anything with legs?
Yeah.
Tables, coat racks.
Yes.
Chairs.
Yes. All those things.
Did you say with legs?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
He did.
Okay.
He did.
I did.
Is there anything with legs? Why, yes.
Other than people.
I have no legs. Yeah, no, there are. There's definitely many things with legs.
I don't know if you can choose not to answer this because it's more of a like specifically, are there like high top tables?
High top tables. There's a couple of card tables where everybody was betting, and there's a few like folding chairs and stuff. Right, this room is like pretty sparse, but yeah, there's a few like folding chairs, card tables. There's a coat rack.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay. Okay, Lyra,
Right.
you're sweeping the leg.
Yes. So, okay. I'm gonna go acrobat and nimble.
Okay.
Again.
Okay.
Heightened senses.
I don't know. I don't think that that one helps. I think it was really helpful for you defensively. Like I'm in with that.
Yeah.
I'm down with that. But I don't think it helps you with this offensive maneuver.
Okay. I am going to, I think, invoke a little bit of my aura.
Oh,
Try and
yes.
scare him.
Your aura of terrible power?
Yeah. Yeah, that one.
That thing? That
Yeah,
old thing?
yeah,
I'm going to rule that that's acceptable, at
I
least for
remember
now,
that.
to like intimidate him a little bit and throw him off his game, for sure.
I'm off his rhythm.
I don't know if my like incorporeal helps in this.
I don't think it would.
I don't think you
Yeah,
get both.
I
I don't
don't
think
think
you
that
can sweep
works
the leg
this
in
time.
an incorporeal fashion.
Incorporeal.
Yeah, if you were like,
Incorporeal fashion.
like molecule control, like vision or something. But no, I think not. I think not.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can give you those.
If you can make yourself denser,
Yeah,
yes.
right.
But it's just-
I think I have to pull on your weakness tag of overconfident.
Yep. Fair.
Is anybody doing anything else here as Lyra's sweeping?
I mean, I'm gonna let that happen
Okay.
before I do anything. I guess.
Okay, so
Yeah,
This
I think
feels
same.
like a 6-second thing.
Yeah, this is all still pretty fast.
oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
A
Yeah.
dodge to a leg sweep, that's no time at
Nope.
all.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I speak
This
from
is the
experience.
fight master.
This could go poorly. We'll see what happens.
What are you rolling
this
with?
is
The
go toe to toe.
Yeah,
right?
you're gonna go toe to toe. You're rolling with the 2 power, right? You have 3 power tags, 1 weakness tag.
Yep.
Okay, go for it.
Yep.
8. That's a
Okay.
mild
Mild
success. You manage so basically choose one of the options. Either you achieve your goal, you sweep him and knock him down, or you get them good, inflicting a status where like you're gonna put a tag on him of 1, or you can block what he's trying to do. But I think as you go down to like sweep his leg, he just brings the other foot up to like kick you.
Ooh.
Okay. Man, this is a tough choice.
Tension. It's stressful.
But I can inflict him with a status.
Yeah, the idea is like, okay, so like the first one and the second one are kind of close to each other, right? Where like achieving your goal
Yeah.
would be knocking him down, and that puts you like narratively in a position to like do what you want, right? Then like you can like disengage from this potentially. It's no like opportunity attacks or anything like that. I don't mean it formally. I just mean like
Right.
narratively, he's on his ass, and all the things associated with that will become relevant, right? But if you want to choose the second one, you can actually try to like affect him, lay a status on him, right?
Yeah. I think that I have to follow this momentum of her like just kind of having momentarily abandoned the idea of like hiding
Mhm.
and just going all in, and I think that she's just gonna like continue the sweep and like knock him over.
So you're taking 1. You achieve your
Yeah.
goal. You sweep his legs. So his foot comes up, snapping out, and kicks you like solidly in the side of the head. Your like head like snaps sideways, and you are inflicted with a status of 2, which is dizzied.
Okay.
So put a card on your sheet there. and so that's going to affect all of your incoming rolls after this, right? And you manage to like follow through with the sweep as you're kind of bowling over, and you take out his one like remaining leg on the ground, and he just goes straight up into the air, right? Like sailing that like thing, his arms kind of pinwheeling as he like boom lands flat on his back in the middle of the floor. And I think at this point the crowd of people, which is kind of just like casually created this circle for the two of you to brawl in, they're like, whoa, the champ is down, oh! And I think that you hear people like, oh my god, I don't believe it, who is she, you know? And like, okay, so what happens next? What's everybody doing? Let me just status check everybody that's not Lyra. So where are the rest of you? Iggy, you're like scanning the room. You've identified like the tables, the chairs. You know where the lights are. Where do we have Nick? What are you doing, Nick?
I'm just watching, I guess. I mean, like, this has all happened within seconds, and if a crowd was formed, I have no idea. Like, I don't know what Lyndon's doing, so I'm not acting until I actually know, like, what's happening, and if they're gonna fight, I guess she's doing fine. So, like, I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, like,
okay.
I'm sort of at a point where I'm just like, I don't know what to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Nick is, like, standing there, like, uncertain. Yep, Iggy?
Because I don't know how the combat works for Lyndon either. Like, if it's just us doing stuff, then, like, it's sort of like, do I have to do anything until...
You don't, but I can, like...
If he won't throw a punch, like, at her that she can't dodge, so it's sort of like... I don't know. I'm trying to see how combat works, I guess.
I get it. Yep.
As I'm watching.
Yep, I get that.
And it doesn't look like... I think Iggy is observing the room, and also he's like right now, like his position is, as long as this stays a one-on-one fight, it's probably not going to escalate out of control.
Okay, cool.
He's making sure that, but he, like, the moment if any of like his bros, like start. Don't. This isn't give. I don't mean to give you ideas, Rich, but if any of his bros like start to like.
I had that idea already.
But like right now, it's one-on-one.
Yeah, and he's on the floor, so it's like technically we have the upper hand, I guess. So.
I think he's trying to find a bookie to just like preemptively get in on the betting that's going to happen based on this fight right now. I think he's like, this is going to be easy money.
So we see Jonathan like glance over his shoulder, pushing in at the card tables with like a handful of money.
All on the ghost girl.
Yeah, what are you saying? You know, I think somebody like reaches out, like, you know.
Jonathan Keeley, nice to meet you.
And the guy's just like, got it. What's your name? You got it. He's like writing stuff down. He takes the money, like shoves it into like a kind of like lockbox sitting there next to him. Like, all right, get out of the way. Next thing. They're like frantically taking bets.
Is there a bar down here as well, or only upstairs?
Asher.
So there's not like an official bar, but there's definitely like another card table set up, and like there are people like serving drinks there. You know what I mean? It's got a much.
That's
more
where
like
Asher is.
You know, house party
Asher is
feel
having a drink.
But there is
like,
alcohol.
This is a
happening.
stressful. Anything that involves being around a lot of people is like not the place they want to be, and they very much keep ending up in these places in the last few days. So they're like, I'm gonna have a drink and stand in this corner and mind my own business until I absolutely have to do something else.
Okay, great. The book buddies who consistently keep dragging you out into these very crowded environments. Yeah. What's Asher's cocktail?
Cocktails? I expected this was like a PBR situation.
Yeah, it mostly is, but they have hard liquor too. You know, if you just want something like
100%.
straight in a solo cup,
if there is a whiskey of some kind, that is very much what Escher's got going on.
Whiskey straight in a solo cup is a vibe.
You got it. It's something like terrible, like Yeah, it is. It's definitely like wild
Oh.
turkey or something
Yeah.
terrible too. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's something
I recall
like,
those days.
You know,
Warm.
Quite well.
Lukewarm.
so like they hand dash you the cop, and they're kind of like leading past you, like, oh, that girl is screwed. And so we like snap back, Lyra. What's happening? You like sweep Lyndon, he goes down. He's like rolling up to like pull himself back up to his feet, and I think he's like, who do you think you are anyway? Are you supposed to be?
She like stands up like from her sweep and like, who do you think you are? I'm trying to talk to you and you're throwing punches?
You're talking
Pull
shit.
your jets. Yeah, I'm talking shit.
Yeah, you're
Look at
coming to
you.
my place talking shit. What do you think's gonna happen?
Yes.
You walked into a
I
fight
talk
club.
shit wherever I go. Anyone can do that. Cool down. Jeez, we're trying to help you. You throw a freaking punch at me.
He just like leaps at you again. He goes
Yeah.
to like barrel you like straight to the ground. So I think that I have to like have you roll face danger again.
Yep. Oh my goodness.
Here we go.
Okay.
I love that Lyra was once upon a time this like shrinking violet hide in the shadows
know.
type who is now just
No.
like yelling at everyone.
I know.
She's angry. Angry. So much anger.
A lot has happened
So,
in 6
so that
weeks.
the rest of us just sit back and let it happen. Just like,
Yeah.
oh, we'll see what.
Man,
I get where
We'll see what
everybody's
she
coming
does. We'll
from.
see what-
they broke, don't fix it.
I do get where everybody's coming from, but it's funny because like for 5 weeks it was like the crew, we're bonding.
Yeah, the crew.
We're bonding,
The crew.
you know. And now it's like, well,
Yeah, well,
but I get it.
Ira's
Like I
got it.
said,
Ira's got it.
we went from facing authority and like these assholes to now this one dude in a fight club.
Yep, I love it. I love it. So Lyra,
We have a pit bull on a leash.
Context is key.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm gonna do the same ones as before. Acrobat, nimble, heightened senses, incorporeal.
okay. I think that this time I'm going to tag you with the sensory overload as well.
Yeah.
And then you also have 2 subtracted because you're dizzy. Your head is like reeling from this kick that he cracked you with.
Right.
So you're rolling with 4 power tags, 1 weakness tag, and then another -2. So this is only a +1 on the actual roll.
Yep.
You may go ahead.
Great.
That's a 5. You entirely miss. You take the full status. I think that he like charges forward and just like boom, he like catches you with the shoulder and like drives you back, like smashing you into one of like the concrete columns that's kind of down here. And he's moving like so fast, Lyra. Like it was all you could do to kind of blink your head now, like just like spinning, right? Like you're trying to focus on him and you're legit like dizzied, right? And so I think that I'm hitting you with another tier 2 status of winded, which is going to basically bring you to a tier 3.
Did the math right.
Yep. So mark that dizzy up to 3 and just change it to
Winded?
yeah. It's like your head's reeling, you know, your like ribs are kind of like aching. Yes, Kevin.
So I guess at this point now, Nick will actually do something and take the risk, and say, "Hey, psycho killer, isn't this a little public for your next murder?"
Oh
Wow.
my gosh.
Whoa.
So
Found out it wasn't him last time.
take the
We don't know. I mean, so,
We don't know.
Do you want me to let him keep fighting you? Because I could also do that.
I think that this just happened. Take the risk is when you perform a daring, risky, or outright stupid feat. Roll plus power. On 10 plus, you do it somehow. So, like you call out Lyndon, hey, psycho murderer. What tags
Psycho
are
killer.
we
Kids
Psycho
can
killer.
say.
Right.
Yeah.
How could I have gotten
Thank
that?
you, Zed.
What do we got for power tags, Nick?
Not a lot, because like that's not my forte. Let's see.
I think we know, like the
Oh, yeah.
mic drop.
I got,
the
like,
needle
one.
drop at the end.
Oh,
Which is
no.
extreme duress. That's about it.
Okay,
Uh,
you're good under
and
extreme duress.
I might say where I came from. If I think this is him, I would probably connect it to my past.
Yeah, I dig that. What I mean, like, what else are you saying to like indicate that? Like, you know what I mean? How does that how
Oh,
is that
like in the yeah, I
relevant to
guess in the
like what
context
Nick
of
is
this, I'm
saying?
not. Yeah, I guess in the context of this, I'm not saying that then. Um, but yeah. Oh no, we don't have anything that's like. Oh well, can't I? How does the help stuff work?
Help their juice and their juice basically you can spend them to help somebody, like you could burn your help point with Lyra to create a story tag, which is like a nebulous thing. It might be anything. It might be like just encouragement or confidence that you're giving her. It might be something physical. You might be able to like change the environment, right? But you're going to create a tag that might help her with whatever she's going to do.
Oh, okay. Um, they don't help me in this moment.
No, I mean,
But
somebody else could
that'll be
help
good for
you.
that'll be good for the future.
This is like a moment where,
Um,
like, you know, the rest of you see, like Iggy, you see it. Asher, you're like standing by the bar with your like drink. Jonathan, like you've got your bet
Fully up
placed.
to my
Like,
face.
oh no, I might be about to lose my money. And you hear Nick like cry out. You know.
um, maybe I don't know. Let me know what you think about this. For warrior instincts, possibly because I know to throw an enemy off guard before I engage in combat.
Um, I think it's a little bit of a reach, but I'd be willing to like incorporate it in terms of like this is you like baiting this guy in battle. You realize like his blood is up and you want to get his attention.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's a question of what you're ultimately trying to do.
Yep, I agree.
yeah.
And I think that
Get
he's
his attention away from Lyra and
trying to like shift the focus. So I'll give it to you. Take it.
okay, and that's it. That's
Okay.
all I got.
So as Nick like calls out, "Hey, psycho killer, what are you trying to get your next victim in public?" Go ahead and roll. Take the risk with warrior instincts and extreme duress.
Cool. Awesome.
That's
Do it
sick.
somehow.
Great success. So I think as
Somehow is correct.
it's amazing. As Lyndon like smashes Lyra like into the concrete post, I think he takes like half a step back and he just like looks at you with contempt, Lyra, like, well, you're clearly not my problem. And then he like turns back looking at you, Nick, and he's like, you're a fool. Didn't I put you on your ass once already? Oh no, that was your friend. Right.
That's right. I was the one that put you on your ass. Which I did. I did knock him down with a trash can.
And so he like steps away from Lyra and like kind of like squares up with you, you know. He takes a few steps like into the kind of center of this circle that's like formed, right? And people are like, "Oh yeah, here he comes." And I think like you hear somebody in the back like, "Wait, we have money on that fight. Is that fight over?" And like, you know, there's like a lot of chaos happening in the room. And as Lyndon's looking at you, he just says like, I think he's like looking around a little bit. His eyes dart before they land back on you. Like, I'll kill all of you if I have to.
Before is Iggy like near me?
Iggy?
Sure.
Yeah, I think
don't
you
know-
like
I
look
don't
and he's
know
right
if this
behind you,
is-
right?
I don't. Yeah.
It certainly
I don't
could
know
be.
if this is how this works, but before I walk into the circle, I'll say, Iggy, Lyra needs you.
Iggy, Iggy's going. Actually, Iggy's actually going to go to Nick, like walk over,
Mm-hmm.
and he's gonna like say to Lyndon, "You know what? You have a bunch of people who've bet on the fight between the two of you. If you do it here and now, you're gonna disappoint and upset a lot of investors."
I don't know what that means, but
I'm not sure what that means either, and I think he like looks.
Well, no, he's saying he's.
I
Well,
get it.
yeah, he's saying there's bets on the fight between these two, but they're
Yeah.
not like it's not has this isn't an
They
official.
got to do the official fight.
Mhm.
None
Yeah.
of this like off on the sides.
No,
nonsense.
I hear you. I think he like turns, looking back to like Lyra, and he's like, "You done?"
Fuck you.
Wow.
From the ground. She's just like
She's like
she's,
slumped
sitting there
down
like,
at the base of the ball.
Iggy says that's her speak for yes.
And so I think he's like, he looks back to you, Iggy, like, well, I guess that's done then. And so he turns, looking to you, like, did I read the name on the card right?
You did.
And Iggy
Are
will
you
go
who
to
we-
Lyra.
Oh, who's he talking to? Sorry.
Oh no, he's talking to you now, Nick. Yeah, he's like
Yeah.
looking right back.
Iggy leaves you with him and goes to Lyra.
Yeah, you read it right. Are we reading this right? Was I correct in my statement just now? I assume so, considering you just literally said you were going to commit murder in front of a room full of people.
People say a lot of things. You here to fight or what?
I really would prefer not to.
Then what the fuck did you sign up for?
Why did I pay $100?
He's like, your buddy
Fine.
over there, he like gestures over at Iggy. He just told you. You don't want to disappoint the investors, do you?
I'll fight you.
Nick.
But away from all of this, are you who I think you are?
Oh, that's not how this game works. And I think that he like just like at this point he like takes his coat off, you know. He does like the dramatic thing. He's like wearing this like jacket, and he just takes it off and like throws it, and one of like his idiot like cronies in the back kind of like grabs it, you know. And they're like, "Yeah, get him, fuck him up, champ," you know. And so he
Nick
like
looks down at himself and he's just like, and just like pushes his sleeves up. That's as far as he can get. One of them falls right back down again.
Oh no.
And so I think that he's like, "This is it, let's do it," and he just like jumps at you and like throws a punch, Nick.
Cool. This is just go toe to toe, not face danger, right? Or is it face danger?
Well, you tell me what you're gonna do. What do you want to do here? If you're like engaging, right? If you're trying to like de-escalate and get away, then you could just face danger to like get away, right? But if you're trying to like engage in combat and potentially hit him back, like what does Nick do? And we'll figure out which move it is.
Cool.
I think
Then
it's absolutely adorable, by the way, that I just assume there's like an actual like ring they have to fight.
I know.
Yeah, I don't have you've seen the movie, right? Just to clarify, back it up. You've seen the movie, right? You understand what a
I've
Fight
more
Club
recently
is.
seen Mortal Kombat, and they have like
It
a
has to be like
cage there.
declared.
I'm
It's
sorry,
the official
you're
fight.
basing this off the movie Mortal Kombat?
But you're asking
Yes,
for
the
the
documentary.
Club.
Just a total aside, but did any of you see the graphic that was Portal Wombat with like the Mortal Kombat? It was so funny. Anyway,
I want to
Someone
see
make that for us.
I know that's what I said. Okay,
He's throwing a punch, right?
he's trying. Yeah, he's like stepping in to try to like fight you now, right? He wants to
Okay,
throw
great.
a punch. Yeah.
Let me look at something real quick here
Yeah,
on my
please.
list of things I do,
Mhm.
so I can prep what I want. Blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. I'm gonna catch his punch.
Okay, so you just want to like catch his punch, and then what?
Start. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna have you roll go toe to toe then, because then potentially you can do something else, right? Okay.
Great. So to start off, pretty much all three of my mythos tags: warrior instincts, absolute focus, and anything can be a weapon, including myself.
That's fair.
Immigrants get the job done.
Okay, I'll give it to you. You're scrappy. You got tenacity.
He said, "Oh man, he didn't acknowledge when I said, 'Are you who I think you
No.
are?' So that doesn't hit the where I come from. But I will use human anatomy and extreme duress.
Okay, so that's 5 you're pulling all together there.
6.
Wow.
And Lyra's gonna give you a help.
What are you doing?
I think from the ground she like yells at Lyndon, is like, "Oh, by the way, your hat is stupid."
So you're burning a juice to do what? To create a tag? What's the tag?
Distracted.
Distracted.
Self-conscious.
Self-conscious. I love that.
Okay. Well, okay. I'll give you that. So that's gonna be like 6 right there. Hang on 1 second. Let's take a look, Nick.
I think that's 7 if the health tag is coming in.
Yep, got it. Can I hit you with the weakness a lot to live up to?
Yeah, I mean, certainly in this moment.
I think it's pretty relevant, right? It's just tries too hard fit here.
I mean, in a way, catching versus doing something else is showing off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm asking if you think it applies. Okay, we'll apply both of those. That's going to be an advancement on that too. I don't think.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, that now I have attention on both of those that I just tagged, right?
Yeah. Yes. So after you make the move, we'll deal with what happens there. I'm not going to tag you with wanton destruction.
Not yet, anyway.
No.
That might come next.
Still in training, not relevant. Okay, cool. So you're rolling with like +7 and -1, or yeah, that's going to be a big +6 to your roll. Okay, go for it.
-2 because it's 2 weakness tags.
Oh
right?
yes, right. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh boy, here we go.
12, great success. So you managed, or you pick which 2 you want here.
Cool. So I'll choose 2 of them.
So the third one like makes sense, right? You block, dodge, or counter,
Yes.
and then it's up to you. Like in other words, okay, so you grab their fist. Is it just that like you're narratively standing there, or do you want to like try to inflict him with the status while you're holding his fist? I think it's 1 and 3, but you tell me.
Yeah, part of me is so. Well, it isn't technically 1 is 3. How does it just to
like separate them again, right? So like
Yeah.
in a lot of situations, the goal wouldn't necessarily be like directly related to like violence and like affecting the enemy, right? It's so abstracted. Like you could just be holding his fist and not do anything, or by holding his fist, you could apply a status to him. Like if you were to be
Yes.
like when you catch his fist, you like twist it maybe or whatever, do something like that, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think I can counterattack yet. But I do think the 3 for sure, and then you get them good, the inflicting a status. Can we do stunned? Because he's shocked that the skinny guy just caught his fist in his hand.
Yeah, so it's only. Oh, wow. Hold on a second. Let me double check because you're going to end up with a. With a tier equal to your power, which is 5. So normally, like just grabbing this person's fist would apply them with that. In any, this is where like I'm jamming you up, Kevin. In any normal situation, yes, yes, you totally could do that. But I think you grab his fist and you're like, okay, you're stunned. Right, and like he does stop for a minute and blink, but I think that you see him change in result to this. You do not like take the hit. You manage to like grab his hand, and I think that in this moment, all of you 5, you see him like kind of like becoming like bigger, right? It's the same way that like Jonathan changed almost, and suddenly like there's like these horns kind of looming over his head, and he blinks back at you, and his eyes are like gleaming red, you know. And so the deal is that given who he is, I think this confirms the question to you, Kevin. This is Mahishasura. There's something like deep within you that recognizes this moment. The part of you that is Durga pushing you forward to like discover all these answers has done this before. And you are like, I have done this before. And you realize what he is. And everybody else seems to just be like cheering and not like phased whatsoever that this guy has kind of like just shifted into like a crazy freaking buffalo demon, you know. And so he like yeah, what do you do in response?
So confirming that I know who it is. Let me see, does this work? Because I feel like we're in the thick of it, so I don't know if this is gonna. Yeah, because now that I know who he is, I'm gonna hit him with all I've got.
So I think that here's the problem because of just to like talk.
We're engaged.
Yeah, just to talk about rules a little bit. So the deal is when you're engaging with a danger is any like potentially enemy, the other NPCs. It might be like a collapsing building, a fire, an explosion. All these things kind of work the same way. You can afflict them with statuses, but different dangers have different limitations and stuff. And so fundamentally, he has this imperviousness to like the physical kind of like damage output that you're doing, and so he's like squared off with you, and you're not in a position to hit him with all you've got, but you could go toe to toe again. Like he's going to try to react to whatever you do because he is Mahishasura. He's not actually stunned. So you can still like engage with him with go toe to toe. You're just not in a position to hit him with all you've got.
Okay, so he's not afflicted with any of the power tier that I threw on him?
The physical statuses, no, he's not. And you're just like, oh, like you realize you should be able to like hold him in place. You should have like staggered him. And as he's now like manifesting kind of the totality of Mahishasura in front of you, there's this element of him that's like almost like impregnable to physical statuses. Psychological statuses, emotional ones, other ones would work. You feel like for you to really like dig into him, you have to like dig into yourself, if that makes sense. Am I being too vague here?
Sort of.
Wait, did I just lose audio? I lost audio. Crap.
Oh, okay, you're not here. We can hear you.
Sorry about that. I lost you guys for a moment.
Okay.
Are you back?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. So if going toe to toe how I am now, I mean, I don't know how to signify or indicate to him that I am who I say I am, unless there's some, because I don't have like a physical manifestation.
So what you could do right here, hold on 1 second, is
I mean, I'm not going to stop holding back because that would destroy the city. Possibly.
It could very well destroy the city. You could stop holding back. That's an option. You could also...
Don't you have to update one of your cards?
Yes,
as well?
yes. A whole bunch of things are happening. I'm sorry. I forgot about that part.
Maybe this can tie in.
It can tie in. So you're basically, you just mark 3 attention on your personality of being not a cliche.
Yes.
You may advance that, and it can happen right now. So you could give yourself an additional weakness. You could rewrite it. You can add a new power tag, or you can go through the advancement options. As there's a couple of like very specific things that are going to be related to your personality in the personality theme book, right?
I'd probably want to do or look at the specific like personality related stuff I could do, like how we have the one for that. But I don't know if I should do that now while we're all yeah.
Okay, you can hold it for a second if you want, but you certainly have the option to if you want to like stop down in and check it out for a second. Yeah, the status you tried to afflict him with is like it was impervious. So the other things you could do is like attack him in different ways, in terms of like not physically overpowering him, but trying to like psych him out, trick him, bait him, like emotionally get him like worked up. You could deal with like environmental things to kind of like slow him down or stop him. Or the other thing you think you might be able to do to like just physically overwhelm him is start burning tags. If you don't want to like stop holding back, you could burn some tags.
Oof.
And I think all of you, just to be clear, all of you in the room, you see this moment, right? As Nick's like, boom, grabs his fist, and there's almost like this echo, right, through the place. And like the people seem unfazed, but this guy is like shifted into a buffalo demon,
Okay.
I could say, I mean, like, I guess to do, if I can't hurt him physically, I could try and say, like, not in my like normal or at least shaky voice, just not shaky, but whatever. Just say like, you know who I am, and we've been here before. This does not end well for you.
Okay, cool. And I think like his like fiery red eyes kind of like go wide, and you can definitely still go toe to toe with that, right? This is a thing where like it's the same move. You're just applying like a psychological status instead of a physical one. So what else are you gonna pull on here?
This will be difficult because since I'm not physically fighting him, I will use absolute focus.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we wanted to help him, like after seeing this, would it be like a change the game?
Yeah, any of you can make a change the game, and that will create juice that you can use to like impact the scene. Yeah.
Yeah, because Elira's like she's not like gonna just sit. Like she's like as soon as she sees this thing like turning into a demon, like realizing, oh shit, this actually is this guy. Like she's gonna try and get up and like even though she's like holding her ribs, but she's gonna like get up and try and like help Nick by like releasing this aura on him.
Okay, so so in other words, through changing the game, basically, you're just gonna get up. You're gonna unleash your aura of terror, or your aura of terrible power.
Yeah.
And okay, so what else do we have? What are your power tags other than that one?
Truly wants to do good.
Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that like it's clear to you as he now is confirming to you like, oh yeah, this guy is in fact a terrible buffalo demon who probably is killing people. Like, okay, I want to do good.
Yeah. Does sees that which is hidden? Like, are we seeing something that other people aren't seeing?
Yes, but that's not helping you here because all of you are seeing. Like, it's not hidden to you anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yes.
And I guess, I mean, I don't know. This is not gonna work out well for me because I got a big status on me. But
you can burn tags.
Yes.
And that's not like they're gone forever, right? Like you recover them later. You can recover them in like our montage or whatever, but you can always burn a tag to just like, boom, I get 10.
Okay. Can I just burn my like truly wants to do good?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. So mark burn, it's over on the other side, right? That's going to be disabled for the rest of the thing. You basically, let me double check myself here, but that's as though you're just like rolling 10. You burn a tag for a boost. If you miss on a move, the MC can ask you to burn a tag. I could do that. An adversary can force you to burn a tag. Other PCs, you can burn one if you unleash your power. Okay, so yeah, you just burn the tag. You get a 10 on the roll. What are you doing? Change the game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so change the game. On a 10 plus, you get a minimum of 2 juice, and you're going to help your friend, so you're going to get 3 juice. How do you want to use your juice?
So can I... Can I just give it? Like, is there a way I can give it to him, or do I have to like?
You can look at all the things that change the game, right? But you could
Yes.
give or reduce a status. You could give Nick a status.
Okay, I'm
Intimidating could be one. So if
Yeah,
it's a
I was
psychological
gonna
attack.
give Nick, the status of intimidated or intimidating.
Okay, so
Yeah.
and so 1 tier per point of juice. So you have 3 juice. You just gonna give him intimidating 3?
3.
So Lyra, just to like refresh it, we see you like pull yourself up. You're the Iggy standing like just next to you, and you step out in front of him and kind of close your eyes for a moment, like you just want to do good. You're just trying to like help these stupid people who won't even help themselves, and this aura of terrible power unleashes. And like it kind of like swarms around Nick, and I think the people, the crowd, are like kind of melting back at this point. Like the cheering all stops, and this goes from like this raucous screaming basement to like this kind of terrifyingly uncomfortable silence in a room of like 50 people, and there's just nothing but the sound of like Nick and Lyndon's feet as they're like moving around. Nick, you have a status of intimidating 3 that you could put on your sheet for a second if you want. And so what do you got?
So how do I put this into the sheet?
So you could put a tracking card down in the bottom just to
Okay.
keep track, and when you're ready for the roll, you modify your power up top. Just give yourself
so-
+3. Like whenever it's going to apply, we'll add it in.
And it will apply here. So +3. And so I have the absolute focus.
Yes.
Definitely where I came from, because we know who's who, and I literally
Yes.
told him that.
Yes, 100%.
I don't know if I'll use the immigrant to get the job done, because it was hesitant before from you, so I'll accept that and use it. Like that applies to other stuff,
Mhm.
so that's totally cool.
Mhm.
Does extreme duress work here?
I think it definitely does,
Okay.
man.
We're
This
under
feels
duress.
like duress.
Yeah,
you know,
we're under-
you're confronting
Yeah.
a buffalo demon
Yes.
who probably
then-
is a mass murderer. Yeah.
Does this last one work? Because with Lyra coming in, especially, approach from all angles.
Yes, absolutely, dude. I was
Yes.
looking at that. Like, please, someone
Yeah.
call on this.
Yeah.
Cool. And is that I just check it off, but it's also burned, right?
Yes, the crew themes are called brittle, or the crew tags. So like as soon as we use them, they burn, and we have to recover
Okay.
them later. So yep.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm at a 7.
Go ahead and roll with power. I think that there are no statuses working against you. Let me double check your weaknesses again. Wanton
I
destruction.
mean, one can work.
Which one do you think it is? A lot to live up to?
Yeah.
I think so too. Yeah, I think let's put in a lot to live up to. Still in training doesn't matter. No clear leadership doesn't matter. You're leading this moment. No wanton destruction. Yeah, go for it.
Cool.
This is a
All right.
monster roll.
Let's go toe to toe.
Yes. 14
Hell
again. Okay, so you manage to achieve your goal. You get them good, inflicting a status with a tier equal to power. That's probably what you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just to circle back again, what exactly did you say to him?
You know who I am. We've been here before. This doesn't end well for you.
Okay, and I think he's just like, I'll fucking kill you this time. And he's like, you're not even a woman. No man could defeat me. And he's like coming at you to try to, like hit you as you're doing this. But you roll, you succeed. So which do you want to do here? You want to inflict him with the status, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the status?
I can't do anything physically to him, you said, right?
Yep.
I don't know if like unsure of himself at this point, because he's saying that, but from my statement, I mean, I'm pretty determined. Like, no, you die when we fight each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like even what he's saying.
I mean,
he's just
I could say like,
right, like as much as he's saying that, there's the unsaid question mark at the end of his sentence.
Things like terrified, unsettled, forewarned, like anything like that.
I like unsettled.
Okay. It's
Unsettled.
almost like too understated for how like monstrous this status is as you like smash him with this, and I think that like he just staggers back. I'm gonna make a jump and just assume you're also gonna take like you defend yourself, right? Like you kind of like take half a step back because he's like continuously trying to attack you as you say this, right? So you're able to like kind of like step out of the way as you yell this to him, and he just like stops. The room is silent as like a pin, and with a status of 6, you have like completely overwhelmed and insurmounted him. Dangers work the same way as you guys. Like a tier 5 status is kind of like incapacitated. A tier 6 status means like you have like killed or drastically changed the status of like what you're dealing with. And I think that there's terror in his eyes as he like looks towards the staircase, and he like kind of leaps away from you, and is like his body starts like changing as he's like shape shifting to like flee because he wants fucking nothing to do with you. Like you just reminded him
back to normal.
No, his changing into probably like
something, a fast animal.
Yeah, I'm thinking like probably a bird, but like, oh, can the bird get through the door upstairs? But I think he's changing into a bird. I think you see him leap into the air, and like whoosh, these wings like emerge out of his back, and his kind of body starts like shrinking.
Shout, Jonathan?
Yeah, I think as he does that, Jonathan is going to also, like, his wings are going to emerge out of his back, and I think he's going to take the risk and just, like, dive right at him and try to, like, catch the bird out of the air and bring him back to the ground.
Okay. I think it might even not be like take the risk, but I think like not to like make Nick feel bad, but I think Jonathan, you could hit with all you've got because he's not.
No, I mean, that's totally fine.
Yeah, he's not like looking at you at all. He's like horrified and trying to flee and like wants nothing to do with any of this. Is like completely overwhelmed. So if you're, do Jonathan's wings come out?
Yeah, his wings are going to come out because I think he's also the time before this, before we even came here, his preparation was building up juice just for kind of like the idea that he might have to use his wings. He was training up his wings, so I think he's going to use the juice here to like underline, like make sure that this is a fight that is started between Nick and Lyndon, and it will finish here.
Okay.
How do I add in juice to the role?
You can use the juice to create like a story tag, but it sounds like you want to give yourself a status. Like statuses don't have to be negative, right? They're just a thing that exists, and it might be negative or positive. So you could burn the juice to give yourself a status equal to that, kind of just like Lyra did, right? Where she did it to Nick, you could do it to yourself and hype your own status up. So what do we see you doing, or how do you want to use that?
Yeah, I think giving myself a story tag, something that would fit along the lines of like a predator pouncing something. I'm trying to figure out how to describe that, because it feels like a monstrous kind of like forcing him, but I know it's not. It's hard to put into words.
No, I know. That's part of the challenge of this game. I think that's what like excites me about it, is to like actually distill it, this big idea, into like, okay, so what do we call that? So do we just call it like monstrous instincts? Monstrous power?
I think monstrous power makes more sense because I am trying to like overwhelm him, like knock him to the ground more than anything else.
Okay, so through the rest of the scene, you can give yourself a status of monstrous power equal to what the juice is you want to burn.
Okay. Cool.
And so with that, how many juice are you spending?
I've got 3 juice. Let's spend 2 of it right now.
Okay, and you're also able to, you could do more than just the status thing. Like you could spend the third one if you wanted to extend that status for longer. So in other words, it would exist outside this scene. Like you could carry that with you forward for the rest of while we're playing tonight, you know.
Ooh, okay.
Can I also give Jonathan a help point?
How are you burning the juice?
I think that Lyra, like, she sees Lyndon, like, take off, and she, like, I think that she, like, looks at Jonathan, like we can go after this guy, and kind of, like, runs with him, like, as he goes after him, like, kind of backing him up.
Okay, so what's the deal? Are you you can't like necessarily apply a status to Lyndon. Like I don't know that you're putting one on Jonathan.
Is it just like a help point? Like can I just give him an extra juice?
No, you have to burn the juice. It's you spending the juice to do a thing, right? So the thing you're trying to do is just like back him up, basically.
Yeah.
So we could go back to like that same kind of like story tag of like backup. You're giving him backup.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine too.
And that, I think that would fit in kind of to Jonathan in general. One of his weaknesses that you would probably call on is his like idea that he can't do it alone.
Oh,
so
yeah,
like
great.
maybe that pull an idea that like, hey, you're not alone in this. Like we got you.
Great. Yeah, you guys had a lot of resources saved up to burn here, so it's cool. I like seeing you use this stuff to help in the hurt. Okay, so there's like this story tag of backup that's happening in the room as Lyra's like backing you up that you have, Jonathan. You have this additional status of monstrous power. What power tags you calling on?
Then I think it's going to be like primarily most of my like take flight ones where I think I'm using my giant wings.
Yep.
I'm using my wing bash to try to hit him, the strength of a gargoyle. I mean, do you think the nimble as a fox applies to like be able to like
Yeah, I'll give
leap
it to
and
you
jumping?
because he's smaller than you and like moving quickly now that he's in bird shape. Yeah.
And it is kind of like an instinctual, I have to like go now. There's not a lot of time to plan. I think those are the main ones. Like those 4 make sense to me.
Yep, I dig it.
I don't. Yeah.
I also think Lyra, she's running, she like looks to you guys, like Escher, Iggy, Nick, and is like, "Come on, guys, let's get him."
I mean, yeah, if I could go. I only have a hurt tag against Jonathan, which I don't want to use in
Uh-huh.
this particular circumstance.
Yeah, but I think if the group starts leaving, like we'll go. If the reason that we're here is no longer here,
Yeah.
Escher is certainly ready to peace out.
Yeah. I dig that. I think, Jonathan, in terms of the like weaknesses, I'm obviously not going to hit you with can't do it alone. I see dead people, doesn't matter. I think the future is fickle, though. Do you feel like that's relevant? Am I reaching? I think I'm reaching.
I think it might be, but at the same time, it is something that it does fit because he's kind of not leaning on that part of his
I agree.
His monstrous abilities, and he's kind of pushing it to the side, so he's just going for it. So I think it does kind of fit.
Okay, so let's work that weakness tag of the future is fickle. Okay, let's double check it here. You're rolling with 4 power from yourself, 1 weakness. Then you have your status of monstrous power of 3, and Lyra's like backup. So I think you're rolling with freaking +7.
Question.
Yeah.
Lyndon is still unsettled.
Yeah, for sure.
That is several more for you.
Yeah, for sure. In like
so
theory,
what does
right?
that mean?
His like status of being unsettled like applies to this. So technically you're rolling with +13.
Okay.
This is me learning the rules to this game too, you know what I mean? So it's really kind of fun and exciting to like
If
see
that's
how this
that
all
works.
plays
Again,
out. No, that's precisely how it works, Kevin. Like when like the idea is like these enemies have these statuses that can like be turned to your advantage. So there's a lot happening here.
I'm rolling with a power of 13. Is that right?
in
Are
theory.
you doing all three of the monster
I'm gonna say
power?
yeah. I'm gonna say yeah. I think he is.
What is fully happening?
I'm gonna say roll with the +7, and but the like status of 6 is still there on top of him. But roll with the +7.
Okay. And then this will be hit with all you've got, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, yeah. Yeah, Jonathan leaps. Hit with all you got.
Yeah, okay. You didn't need the +13.
Jeez.
But it would have been fun.
It probably would have. Just to be clear, that would have been a roll of 22 on a system that goes between 2 and 12. So
Yeah, there's not really any bonus mechanically for rolling beyond 12, right?
there can be some of the advancements for your crew themes. There are things called, you can make one of your theme cards be dynamite. And so that unlocks like a whole new set of things when you roll over 12. It'll give you like special abilities for each one of the theme books.
Okay. I don't want to derail things now, but I do want to come back to that because I was looking at theme improvements and I saw that word and I was like, I don't really know what that
means. I only kind of know, so we will come back to that.
Cool.
Jonathan, what does this look like?
Yeah. Yeah, so I think as he is trying to turn into a little bird and fly out, you see me just shove some of the crowd aside and grow monstrous wings out of my back, and I leap and just pin this tiny bird now to the floor in like a cloud of dust, and I just have this like little bird kind of in my hands. And I think Jonathan growls at him like, "You were talking to my friend."
Yeah.
I feel like we see like tiny cartoon bird feathers almost like
Yes.
poof up in like a cloud.
By the way, I think like you do, yes. And I think that like as you're holding him there, like suddenly it's not a bird anymore. It's like him, right? And he's on the ground and he's not like this like buffalo demon thing. There's like fear and terror in his face. And I think that he's like crying and he's like "You've got me, all right. What do you want? What do you people want? He's here to kill me. He's here to kill me. He said it. You heard him."
You said that you were going to kill all of
Yeah.
us.
After you came here looking for
all
me.
of us if you needed to.
After you came here looking for me.
Yeah.
We gotta
'cause
have
you-
a conversation
Yeah. Away from the crowd.
with words.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Let's go. I'll go where you want.
Yeah. Can we lead him out of this area?
Yeah. You guys want to start heading back upstairs?
Yes.
Okay.
And I also say, I think this means I won to the bookie as I go. And
The bookie has like this kind of like blank look on his face, right? That like as you look back into the room suddenly, like all the people like they're kind of like still a bit like terrified, but they seem to be starting to like look at each other and are kind of like, huh? And then as you say that, the bookie like blinks and he's like, the new guy, Durga took the champ. And suddenly like the whole crowd kind of like, huh? Yeah, they all like start like cheering and clapping and yelling, right? And there's kind of like a push at the table, and so whatever you guys bet, I don't recall on like.
I think we put a 20.
Yeah, I think somebody was like, I got a 20.
Yeah, you get back $200. So
Sweet.
yeah, nice 10-to-1 odds on the new.
Nick
kid.
is very like he notices everyone's weird reaction and is very put off by that and has noted it. Nick will remember this.
Lyra like walks past Nick and like seeing him like look around is like sleeping.
Yeah, that's my question. Like mechanically in the game is like, how do the sleepers like justify this, or do they just like because of the mist not even register it? Like what is their experience of what just happened?
And so I think that like to answer that question, like we cut back to like Nick standing in front of the bookie and he was like, that was incredible. That was absolutely incredible. You just You completely just talked him right out of it. You grabbed him by the arm and he quit. I can't even imagine how any of that happened. And I think you hear people in the back saying different things. The new guy kicked his ass. And somebody else is like, well, that girl worked him over pretty good. He must have been pretty hurt from the fall to the floor. But they all seem to be just justifying and vacillating.
They didn't see birds or
nobody is
demons
acknowledging anything about buffalo, demon, birds, mothman. Nah, man. They're just all
it was just WrestleMania for them.
Yeah, it's almost like they're they all just kind of timed out and ignored that whole space of things happening, The mist is mysterious and ambiguous in the way that it deals with people, but yeah.
Gotcha.
Kurt.
And so Lyndon is kind of standing, Lyra's over you.
Rich.
Yeah.
I think Kurt has
Kurt is
some perfect question.
Oh,
Kurt is
Kurt.
raising his hand.
I'm sorry, I did not see your hand. I'm sorry, I got all windows open.
So this isn't like Mage where you need to be careful to justify your. Oh,
Great.
that changes some things, Richard.
Nope. It's like the World of Darkness games. It's like Mage in the sense that there are sleepers and then there are people who know more, but the mist is overpowering and will keep them in it. It's the real thing that I don't know that we talked about much is the mist is trying to swallow you all. There's this battle that is happening between your mythos and the mist, right? The mist wants you to forget all this stuff that's happening, and the reason that you don't is because your mythos is pushing you no, further, right? The mist wants you to accept life and just keep on trucking, and the mythos wants you to abandon reality and commit yourself to whatever your role is in the story, and that's the mysteries versus the identities. So Lyndon is subdued. He's done. He's done so. He's going with you wherever you want. The people seem to be over it. The bookie shoves $200 in Nick's hand. Escher, Iggy, are you guys following as the rest of them seem to be heading upstairs? Okay. So
No.
Okay, Iggy.
Iggy's going up to Nick and saying, half of that's mine, right?
I was gonna split it amongst all of us.
But I paid the $100 entry fee.
That's true. So he takes out the 100, and then how many of us are there? 5.
Yeah, so $20 a piece.
Yeah, so 120 goes to Iggy.
My man, cleaning up.
And then on the way as we're walking, I'll hand everyone the 20. I also whisper specifically to Jonathan, out of earshot of everyone else, text Perez.
Yeah, I think Jonathan will pull out his phone and try to do it inconspicuously, but he has to
really
glance at the phone and he's getting it too close.
It's the T9 phone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That he's typing a lot and not saying a lot.
A lot of single button pushing.
Yeah. Real subtle.
Where are we going?
He texts Perez, lets her know.
What does
Maybe
the text say exactly?
Apprehended the guy. ... Going to interrogate. ... Talk soon. ...
I love it.
It's a telegraph.
Got it.
Yeah,
Right.
Got it.
So.
Yeah.
Stop.
I love it.
Yeah. Stop.
Right.
Okay, I love it. That's very funny. Jonathan, texting a lot of you walking. You're up in the bar. Are you taking him out of the bar?
Yes. I feel like we should get him away from people, right?
Well,
As I whisper to everyone else, we should get him away from people, right?
Iggy's going to ask because the bartender's up here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a private room that you say for VIPs?
The champ.
Are you a cop, man?
Do I look like a cop?
The opposite.
As he's dressed in a chef's uniform.
He's like, no, but I mean, he's like, we just really have the basement.
Oh. Thank you.
So the five of you walk out in the street, and Lyndon's kind of like with you. You know, he's like standing there in front of the bar, kind of like lingering, like looking at the lot of you. He still looks like just terrified. He's like staring at Nick, and he's like, "You gonna take me to execute me?"
You killed all those people. Did he laugh?
Is that Richard?
No, that was me. That was definitely just me, not him.
Okay.
He does not laugh. I know. That's the worst. What did you say to him again? I'm sorry.
Well, I said you killed all those people.
I think that he's just like, I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right.
I'm just trying to live a life over here.
This dock, people were trampled, torn apart, murdered. People like us, and you did it.
I'm just trying to
Why?
protect myself
From what?
From what?
from you.
Why does everybody think we're the bad guys?
I think he means me specifically.
Oh.
I do.
Yeah, do you?
Well, Escher's insulted anyway.
The rest of you
Did
couldn't
you-
stop me if you wanted to.
You
Now
did.
Escher's even
I
more.
mean,
It's all right.
we kind of like
Cocky.
just did that a little bit.
Exactly. This was a team effort that took you down, which tells you that whatever's happening, we aren't tied to history. And you killed all these people just because you were afraid of what could have happened.
Did you kill these people? The deaths are on the docks. Was that you?
I'm not saying shit till I have a lawyer.
Well, we're not cops.
Look, I mean,
I'm
we're not
still
cops, yeah.
not saying shit till I have a lawyer. You're worse than cops.
Oh man.
Dude, you suck.
Can Nick, like, step up to him?
Sure, what does Nick want to do? Yeah. I mean, there's like moves that could be being made here that like, it doesn't really matter. Like, you've got him so effed up with the status that like, I'm not trying to like hammer on them, right? But yeah, what does Nick want to do? Nick steps up to him.
Yeah, you're right. We're not cops. You know what we are, meaning that we exist outside of the normal rules of this world. So if you do want history and myth to repeat itself, keep walking this path.
Is this
Or-
a convince?
Yeah.
Answer
Yeah,
our
convince you.
questions.
I'm going to try to convince him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind. No. That was so anticlimactic.
It was anticlimactic. Why not try to convince him?
Because what I wanted to do doesn't really work given the current logistics of things. So we're good.
Okay.
Mm.
But I think Nick is trying to.
Yeah,
I do think
Nick?
Nick is trying to convince
Yeah.
him, and he has a status of like 6. He's completely effed up. Nick, I think you're trying to convince him. So, back to the sheet one more time.
So I might actually have to tap something from this, but I updated my personality.
Okay, great.
Yes. Because I have 2 things to upgrade, both personality and defining relationships.
Yes.
So I added a new power tag, which is under F.
Blends in. Okay. What's the question?
I'm trying to go back real quick here.
No problem.
I got it open. I was trying to get defining relationship. Where is the?
Oh, I got it even. What aspect of your
thanks.
personality keeps you safe or helps you resist influence?
Yes, and since it's like a personality thing, keeping me safe is helping me blend into socially.
Got it.
So like that's that not a cliche thing. Then trying to like assimilate myself a little bit helps me blend in.
Yep, I dig it.
So for child of immigrants, which is where I'll probably end up using a power tag from, I have a question about what does it mean where it's just like when you make those moves? So like, who's the boss is one thing, and it's like choose two core moves that best reflect your attitude toward the object of your defining relationship. When you make those moves against them, they're dynamite. What is dynamite?
So dynamite is what we were talking about with Zed for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Dynamite is basically when you roll 12 or higher on that move, it unlocks like a whole suite of different things. There's like, it gives you some extra stuff. Like if we look up at the top of our sheet there where we make the power rolls, there's a little stick of dynamite with a fuse sticking out of it, right? And we can like activate that when we make those kind of specific rolls, right? But it just gives you a whole nother tier of success that's above 10. Whenever you get 12 or higher, like impressive stuff happens.
Okay, then in that case, I would like to do that for my defining relationship.
Okay, I dig
to
it.
Level it up.
Which two core moves? Who's the boss? So which moves are we going to identify?
I will do Immigrants Get the Job Done.
This is not even about the tags on your sheet. It's about our moves, like Convince or like go toe to toe. Yeah.
Okay.
Dude. So this is where it's kind of badass because this is the specifics of Dynamite for anybody who's like got the book and wants to scope it out. If you look in the actual moves themselves, like I'll give you an example here, right? Change the game. If your move is Dynamite on a 12 or plus, you get a minimum of 3 juice and can choose to activate one of the special improvements by spending one. You can make a large scale effect or a permanent effect, or you can make a hidden effect. So like each of the moves themselves in the book describe what the Dynamite outcomes are.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Cool. Then in that case, that's great. So for
It is.
Child of Immigrants specifically,
yeah.
And it's essentially whenever I tap into something that deals with that part of me. Right?
It's 2 of the moves. Like we're gonna, but yes, it's gonna be which 2 moves are relevant to like that part of you. Yes.
Cool. Convinced for sure.
I feel like 100% makes very
which is gonna be handy here.
Yep.
And I could use change the game here because that's how I can, with these bonds that I have, I could use it to change the game.
Agreed. I mean, the other ones I was looking at are like sneak around or investigate potentially, but I think change the game and convince makes sense. So on just flip that card over, and on the back you're going to mark that you're taking who's the boss, right? And then
I check that.
Yep, and then just note convince and change the game. This is really cool. I hope folks out there watching are like digging this, right? As we're like getting to this point that we really are like digging into the mechanics of the system, right? But we're learning a lot. Like tonight feels like a big learning night for me. I don't know about you all.
I mean, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially with the combat.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
Well, that's very handy because I am trying to convince him.
Yes.
And I am tapping into something that is from our past because I think where I came from definitely applies to this situation.
Definitely does, yeah.
Okay. And so, I mean, with that, then, like, what else do I need to do? I'm pretty focused here, I would say.
Absolute
I don't
focus.
think I'm under duress.
Agree.
Oh, sweet. I don't know how this works, but technically blends in socially that I just made. Does it? No, I'm not blending in. I'm sticking out.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know that it, I dig it.
Yeah. Okay, so then I have 2, but also
you can add the +6 from his status, right?
Yeah, so he has the 6, but also I'm still intimidating. Right?
Oh, yes, dude. Yes, you still have this intimidating thing happening. So, yeah, I mean, this is like sort of a different scene as we've removed from it. So I think actually, like, you lose it because Lyra didn't spend the point. So the intimidating card you could just get rid of, but you still have +6 from his status, right?
Sweet, yeah. And feel free to add any weaknesses that you would like.
I don't think there's any that I'm going to pull here.
Okay. Cool. And so then I roll convince. But now since I'm using convince, right, and I'm doing something with child of immigrants, isn't that the dynamite thing?
Yes, so like mark above convince, just click the little dynamite and it's going to roll dynamite. If you get a 12 or higher, it'll tell us the results.
I don't
All
see
of the
dynamite
things.
on my.
It's in the gray bar, Kevin, like just above the actual
Oh,
power
I see
of
it. Roll
8.
dynamite.
Yeah, just click that. Cool, I see
Okay,
it turned
cool.
on now. Yep.
And then just hit convince.
Yep.
17.
Wild. So Nick rolls a dynamite success. So this is the idea where you're either threatening him with a whole separate tier 8 power tag of like something which is like, he'll be destroyed emotionally. So just to like circle back again, like what is it that you're saying to him just to get it back to the beginning?
So he was saying that you're not the cops. And I said, you're right, we're not the cops. We're something else, meaning that we're not, existing within the rules of this city. So if you do want history and myth to repeat itself, keep walking down this path.
We love threatening people with murder.
Yep. We do. So this is what's interesting is like you because you rolled dynamite, you could make the effect permanent. But so like he's definitely going to tell you what you want, and he's just like, it wasn't my idea. I didn't even know what the fuck was happening to me until. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
What do you and now Nick is back to normal because he's not tapping into the movies he's seen where people act like this and get accomplished.
Yeah.
Because movies is all he has. So he's just like, wait, what do you mean you didn't, this wasn't your idea?
Look, I didn't even know. I don't know what happened. I didn't understand. But somebody told me that they did. They explained some of it, who I am. So once I started doing a little research and realized who I am and who you are, but I didn't know it was you. Well, they didn't tell me to do it, but they certainly sent me down this path. They said that I could keep myself safe.
Does it have to do with Erastus and Anastasia? You hang out with her a lot, don't you?
I think like his head like drops, He doesn't say anything, but like very clearly clear to all of you as soon as like Lyra says her name, he like is like
Yeah, of course it's the guy with the freaking supernatural watch alert.
they're like us, They're not just people.
Both of them?
Yeah, both.
All right.
Do you know what they can do?
Lots of things. They make us seem like. He just kind of shrugs.
Well,
What
that's
is
reassuring.
Wow.
What is the idea? You said it wasn't your idea. What's the idea? Like, what's the plan?
To kill him before he woke up. He like points at Nick.
But what about the other ones?
I guess they weren't him.
You were just gonna kill like everybody in the city until you found the right one. I mean, I get the idea, but that's shooting fish in the dark or something,
Everyone in
Oh my goodness.
the library, at least. If I had to, wouldn't you? to stay alive.
No.
Kill a bunch of people?
I mean,
Did
I
they
get
tell
blamed
you?
for every danger.
Did they tell you that it was gonna happen?
Yeah,
There's
did
no
they-
reason to believe it would have. I didn't even know who you were. There's nothing telling me to go after you.
Well,
We only came after you because you killed all these people.
if I knew who you were, I would have just killed you.
Well, that's
Oh, boy.
really reassuring as Nick like steps back for a moment.
I mean, now that you met the guy, do you still feel the need and desire to kill him? I mean, look at his face. Does he look like he needs to die?
Can we avoid it? Don't we have to?
We don't have to do anything. I certainly don't want to. I don't even want this thing. I want to just go back to normal.
You don't have to let it control you. Like, some of us...
I just
Are
woke up
affected.
and it was there all of a sudden. This anger in the back of my mind, this rage and hatred. I don't know
So
what happened.
then,
I don't know why the fuck this happened to me. I don't want this. But here it is. You're one to talk. I don't know what happened to you, but you're like me, he says to you, Lyra. Whatever it is, you're fucked up.
yeah,
Nick
but I'm not going
cringes.
around killing people.
Not yet.
I'm not going to be.
You would have killed
Not
me.
gonna... No, I wouldn't have.
You sure?
Not like I'm not. Yes.
Are you
I'm
really
not
sure?
Just like you, might have scared the shit out of you. You'd never come outside again.
I think that there's like a buzz in your pocket, Nick, as this conversation is happening, as you
Oh, God.
catch a text. And so, like, you take the phone out and flip it open. And I think the response is from Perez, like, what the fuck
Oh, you mean
are...
Jonathan.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
yeah,
I'm
you
sorry.
said-
I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. That's
You were
my
like,
bad.
I was like, is my
Family
parents
again.
texting me right now? Now's not the
I know.
time, Mom.
Yeah, I know. I think, Jonathan, you flipped the phone open and it's Perez. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You are not police. I don't even have a suspect. You should not be interrogating anybody. Where are you right now? Like caps. You know what I mean? Wall of caps, you know?
I think he just sends back, "We got this. ... Trust me. ... And then he does like a winky emoji, but not an emoji. He does
Yeah.
like the semicolon parentheses.
Semicolon.
how I do it.
parentheses.
Oh my goodness.
That kiss kiss send.
I mean,
Send message.
I think that like immediately, like the text comes back like, no, where are you? You do not have this. Where are you? You know?
No.
I think with that, I want to show the phone to like the rest of the group and just be like, I think especially Escher seems to have their head on their shoulders more than most.
Yes.
I think I just like show it over and be like, I don't know, what do you think? She's very persistent.
You don't have to answer her if you don't want to.
The texting is a convenience for you, not for others.
Sure.
That's why.
That sounds like some woo-woo therapy weirdness, but we'll go with it.
We don't want this to get back to Erastus.
Definitely not.
He's worse than either of us. I think he says to you, Lyra, you can keep
Yeah, I can
hiding
tell.
from whatever is part of your life now, but I saw it, and it's evil. You're
I'm
just
clearly
like
not
me.
hiding from it.
So
I'd like to.
He kind of like shrugs, but he's just like, I'm just warning you. Erastus, Anastasia stopped him. And I know nobody's supposed to be able to defeat me except him. He like gestures at Nick, circumstances, but I think he could have. Whatever he is, it's big.
And Anastasia stopped him?
She saved
Yeah,
me.
from what?
She saved my life.
I mean,
I think he's telling the truth.
What do we do now?
You're right.
Yeah.
So you gonna give me to the cops?
You're gonna give yourself to the cops. We'll watch it happen, but
Uh,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
want to
just
give
inclined.
anybody to the cops.
Yeah, I don't.
we can't just let him go.
He's just gonna go, like, they're gonna give him right back to Erastus.
yeah,
Like,
no
and this
one's
is just
gonna
gonna-
understand
it's just
what's
gonna get worse.
happening.
Do you think he should face justice?
Justice
killing
and the cops
people.
are very much not the same thing.
No, that's not what I'm asking.
Yeah.
That's why I changed the question. Do you think he should he face justice for what he's done?
Certainly, I don't know how that looks though.
Well, until we have something better, then we take him to the cops.
And you think the
What-
cops are
what-
just going to give him back to us when we come to a
What
better
about-
decision?
What about Billy?
Hey, there's an idea.
Who's
Maybe
Billy?
he has a place. Shut up.
He's a kid. We don't really know who he is, but he seems all right.
So instead of the cops, you're gonna give me to a kid?
Yeah, that
Not a
seems
kid.
highly
Not
dangerous.
that-
Maybe he is.
Or we
May-
consult with the kid.
Maybe he's got a bunker or something crazy. I don't know. Azure, could you text
Bunker?
him?
A bunker or something.
I don't know.
crazy.
He said up there, right? That's the whole thing. We don't.
Yeah, I could text him. I think while we're having this conversation, my internet's being weird. Can you guys understand me okay?
Yes, we
Mhm.
can.
Okay. While we're having this conversation, I think Escher should bring up the seeing of the future
Oh.
that happened towards the end of last session, right before this fight was about to go down. Because I think what they know from what they saw is Erastus said we need to find out who's killing us, which implies that he's not the one sending Lyndon out to kill people, I think. I don't know what to read from Philly's face.
Or it was
Or- It was,
Yeah.
or yeah, he might be trying to get like
Unless
the
I guess
eye
unless
off of
he
him.
thinks that Nick is killing everybody, so he's sending Lyndon to find Nick,
But
essentially.
you said you saw the future. So if that's the future, he would have known this. Then everything that happened is the past. These killings started happening a while ago. So what you saw couldn't have been Erastus telling this guy to come after me.
It wasn't. That's not what I saw. Right? Lyndon doesn't have a shaved head.
No.
No.
Nope.
Okay, so I saw somebody else. I saw him talking to somebody else.
Yeah, he might have just been. He's playing the part of this hero that's like finding the person that's killing everybody. But
Yeah,
what
and
is
that
he trying to
works
gain from this?
I think we're missing the bigger question is
We're missing the big.
if Erastus didn't tell Lyndon about anything, that means someone else did. And someone else wanted this to happen.
I think Erastus did send Lyndon out. I just think that we didn't see that. Like what we saw was just what Esther saw was just Erastus playing the part.
But then
Like I
either
think,
way, we can't let him go. And the only options seem to be the agents and the police. And between that, probably leaning police if Erastus is directly connected to these agents.
Let's hit up Billy. Let's see if he's got a spot. He's got to have something.
So
He seems like a crazy person.
Yeah.
you're gonna call the bunker kid.
Yeah.
I
Just
mean,
seems like
it's
a
him or
bad
the
idea.
cops, man.
We say kid euphemistically.
Yeah, he doesn't like you much. It does
Yeah,
make sense if, like,
I'm gonna
if
text
this Linden
him.
guy was only dangerous. Like, if he was only trying to kill you, and he's no longer trying to kill you, I don't feel like he's dangerous right now. Are you? I mean, you seem all right.
Are you?
And the 4 people who were murdered on this docks, over there and there and there, what he did to them. What, we just move on? We just let him go? We just let him go live in a bunker after he did that? That
No, but
woman
we
was
can't
buying
give him
books
right
for her
back to
kids.
who started this. We can't just give him back to Erastus. If we give him to the police or the agents, he's just gonna pick him right up and put him right back where he wants him. We don't want any more chess pieces in Erastus's hands. He cannot have anything else to have hanging over our heads, especially not your arch nemesis.
See,
We got him.
even she gets it.
There's insane stuff happening inside all of us. I don't think any of us fully understand it, and his is leading him to do some horrific things. I don't think any of us are forgiving him for killing people. However, there is more to lose than to gain by handing him over to the cops, I think is what Lyra's saying, and I agree. I think we
I
could lose a
agree
lot.
too.
So
Well, Iggy,
Yeah, Nick is just like, fine, you all decide what to do with it, and is gonna not leave, but like, just kind of like back away.
and Lyndon is like watching Nick, as you take a couple of steps back, and he's like, you can try to duck responsibility for this, but at the end, you and I are the only ones that matter.
Okay. I guess gods have egos,
You're not gonna goad me into ending this the way you apparently want it to.
I don't want to die, but you making them choose. He just like shrugs at you.
He's not making us choose. We're having a conversation.
You're a very extreme person. Like,
Nick is like,
chill.
I don't know, I'm kind of making
Just
you choose.
You're not
I mean,
intense
currently,
at all, he says back.
3 of the 5 of us are in agreement. That's not making us choose. That's us coming to a decision collectively.
What did you guys decide?
Well, so far
Oh,
we've decided not the cops.
Yeah,
That's
so
as far
let's-
as we've gotten.
Delay.
I'm all for shooting down options if you have a better option to offer.
Delay.
All right, I'm gonna text Billy.
text
I'm
the
not
kid.
calling him because who does that anymore?
Mhm.
I will text Billy and I will tell him that we've got Lyndon. Because he knows who Lyndon is, right? Did we talk about that?
He knows who all of us
he
are.
knows things.
He knows a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah, okay. But so you text and tell him that, and I think like very quickly he like texts you back, Escher, and is like, "Holy shit! What are you gonna do?"
I'll text back. We're not sure. We don't want to hand him over to the cops, but we can't really just let him go.
I'm pretty sure that guy's a psycho killer. You should be careful.
Have a
Dot,
creepy
dot,
room in a
dot.
basement.
Yeah. dot, dot, dot.
I think he just types back like, "I realize that's unhelpful, but also didn't want to tip my hand before. But if you've got him, wow."
Yeah. What do you think we should do in all capital letters?
Give him to the cops.
I think
Oh my God.
I think that he like types. I think he like there's like a pause for a minute, and you're like sitting there, and then I think he like types back to you like, "Did you stop a murder?" And you're like, "What?" And he goes, "Did you stop a murder?" And you're like, "What?" And he goes, "Did you stop a murder?" And you're like, "What?" And he goes, "Did you stop a murder?" And you're like, "What?" And he goes, "Did you stop a murder?" And you're like, "What?" And he goes, "Did you stop a murder?" And you're like, "What?" And he goes, "Did you stop a murder?" And you're like, "What?" And he goes, "Did you stop a murder?" And you're like, "What?" And he goes, "Did you stop a murder?" And you're like, "What?" And he goes, "Did you stop a murder?" And you're like, "What?" And he goes, "Did you stop a murder?" And you're like, "What?" And he goes, "Did you stop a murder?" And you're like, "What?" And he goes, "Did you stop a murder?" And you're like, "What?" And he goes, "Did you stop a murder?" And you're like, "
In a manner of speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not. You're texting though.
Basically.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna
And
explain.
then I think real quick afterwards, like comes a second text that's just like, I mean, like, do you have evidence?
Do we have evidence?
We have a verbal confession.
Yeah.
That's not going to do much.
It's not admissible in court, right?
Correct.
And the cops already hate us, and now we're associating with.
I think a third
criminal.
text comes in where he's like,
Oh no.
like, hey, you want to grab drinks sometime?
Oh, but that's not from him, right?
It is.
That's
He's just like,
Billy the kid is asking
like,
if I want to grab
hard
drinks
left turn.
sometime?
Like, what?
Plot twist: Billy is actually Charlie.
Charlie.
Chaos. That can't be right.
That was my first instinct.
Oh my
I'm
god,
not
because
gonna
he
lie.
doesn't
That
know
was my
that
first
he
thought.
doesn't know it's you. He got the number thing from the homeless guy, so he's just texting the number.
He knows. Oh, he knows.
Uh-oh.
I'm sure.
Uh-oh.
I'm
trying to do math, not literal math, but like I'm trying to connect dots in my head
Trying
right
to
now
do
to make
word
that
math?
make sense.
Word math?
Word math.
I mean,
Word
like,
math.
this is the way he's talking, you know? Like,
I'm deeply
what's going on?
So funny.
I don't know.
Well,
I think I'm just gonna text back Billy ?
And then I think there's like a second return, like, that's not my name. Also, my bad. Never mind. Maybe the cops are a bad idea. This guy killed 4
Yes,
people.
that's where we start. Like, yes, that's where we started. What do we do instead? He said he killed those people, and he wants to kill Nick.
Yeah, there's like no reply for a
You
minute.
have
And
a
I think,
bunker.
we've
I
reached the
think,
phone call.
yeah, I think he like
texted
texts back one last
it
time,
takes a
and
lot
he's
to
like,
get me there, but I think that's where we are.
I don't know. I never thought you'd catch him so quickly.
Iggy turns to Lyndon and says, have you given up your desire to kill this man? And ... He just goes off.
I can't kill him now. He's not just a man. No man can kill me. No God can kill me. There's only one. And he is them. He says it's too late.
Are you done killing?
I don't know. I hope so.
Oh man.
How do you not know? Make that
Do
decision.
you know what's going to happen tomorrow?
I know I'm not going to
I kinda
actively
do.
go kill
I'm
people.
doing laundry. I have to pick up some
Really?
groceries.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
planning on trying a new recipe. So yes, I know what's happening tomorrow.
Just like you knew what was going to happen yesterday.
I did, because yesterday
Kind
you
of.
talked to the bartender, you found out about the fight.
Iggy's
I paid
pragmatism.
$100 so that we could get Nick's name on the roster. So yes, I knew it was going to happen today too.
Must feel good to be that certain.
All right, Escher is calling Billy.
Yes. Charlie.
We've
Yeah,
talked
what
to
is
Billy.
happening?
We've talked to Billy before, and Billy did not sound like Charlie, correct?
I think he
We
does
talked on the
sound a little bit
telephone.
like Charlie.
I mean, telephone voice is different from talking to people in person, isn't it? I don't know. I can't confirm.
Well, no, you can still tell
Who
if someone
knows
calls, you
anymore?
can recognize voices.
Ish. She's only had one conversation in a club.
Well,
with this
they've
person.
only had the one
Yeah, like a
conversation.
loud noisy club.
It was it was like a short convo of like a couple of like exchanged words or whatever. I mean, you have Charlie's number. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
but he said he uses
He's
burner
using a burner
phones.
phone too.
He did. I mean,
Doesn't
Billy
matter.
did say they were using a burner phone. Yes, but like, I can't. I don't know who any of these people are. Don't ask me. This is, you all.
You're full of
100%.
shit.
Do it.
I
Call
don't
him.
know.
It's
Yeah,
totally Charlie.
I'm calling Billy because we can only frantically text back and forth.
You call Billy, and I think like the phone picks up quickly, and he's just like, "Hey, are you all right?"
We're fine.
Yeah,
We're
good.
trying to figure out what to do with a
I
murderer
can't believe.
that doesn't involve taking him to the
I
cops.
can't believe you caught him. This is wild. Are you sure it's him? He said it was him, huh?
Yeah,
I was pretty
100%.
sure. He's shady as shit, that guy.
Okay, what are we gonna? We're in agreement on that
I don't
point.
know. I just was
Do you
watching.
have a bunker?
What did she say? Did she ask if I live in a bunker?
Yeah,
No.
she's asking
Do
if
you
have a
have
bunker.
No, I have
Not if you live in
a really
one,
cozy
if you have
bed.
one.
Why? I don't know. I don't live in a bunker.
A bed.
Is the bed in a bunker?
I think he's like
Ask
yelling
that.
back, like, I don't live in a bunker, you know?
I don't care. Can we put this guy somewhere?
Oh, is she asking if I know where there is a bunker? I mean, I know a place you could probably, like, keep him captive, but that's, you know, a whole undertaking that has some emotional consequences.
We gotta do something with him, and we can't really let him go because he's not sure if he'll kill again or not.
That's a lot. Listen, I'm sorry about the drink thing. I know a spot, maybe, where you can lock
Wait,
him up.
where did that come from?
Never mind. Don't even worry about that.
Not.
I think
Does it sound like Charlie?
you
Charlie,
never
is
talked
that
to
you?
Charlie.
Drink
None of the
thing?
rest of you
I'm
talked to Charlie.
Taylor is
Nobody
asking, I
talked to
apologize.
Charlie except Escher.
Yeah, we have no idea.
So here's the thing: is that technically,
Are you? I'm gonna ask. Are you Charlie?
Charlie.
Charlie?
Well, shit.
Yes,
What a
I
mess.
fucking called
Listen,
that shit.
I'm not a creepy stalker. I promise I'm not a creepy stalker. I'm really not. I'm really not.
Yeah,
I
it's all
didn't-
happening on the phone. Nick is just
I
sitting there, by the way, staring
didn't
at
say
Lyndon.
that
Lyndon
you
presumably just staring at him.
were.
No, I'm really sensitive about it though. I did not, you
They
know.
come up a lot.
What? No. It doesn't come up that much. No, it's not a thing that it's becoming a thing because I'm getting really worked up about it, but it's not a thing that's part of my day to day. It's just that, you know, you all showed up at the club. I happened to be there. Next thing I know, I'm calling my homeless guy's phone and you're picking up and he's like, clearly like you hear like the nervousness, you know. He's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make it weird.
Oh, it's definitely weird.
I know. It's
I
gotten
can't
weird.
hear-
It's gotten
I
weird.
can't
Were
hear
you-
what he's
are you-
saying, but
were-
he sounds worked up.
Do you really go to Club Delphi often?
No. I mean, look, more than I want to admit to you, but it's not because I think it's cool. Like I told you why then. I watch people, you know. I realize this is like circling back on that whole other thing. I don't watch people in a weird way. It's like a healthy way, like writers. Writers do that, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's like that. It's like that.
Okay, but this is real life, and
Is it?
me
What
and
is
my
this
friends
place?
got to figure out what to do with the murderer.
Okay, listen.
And like now is not the time to figure out if we're gonna go on a date or whatever.
I hear that.
Why didn't you just tell me it was you?
Because that's weird, isn't it? I wanted to just like
no,
kind
this
of.
is weird. pretending to be somebody else is weird.
Well, if you wouldn't have asked the homeless guy for the phone and traded the beard, then it wouldn't have gotten weird. I thought maybe that this was a thing that wouldn't come up, and Charlie and Billy could be two separate entities, but sometimes paths
that
converge.
Hole is getting deep.
Yeah, he's like clearly like he can't. He's kind of like an ad. He kind of like leveraged back, and so I think he's just like, listen, bunker. It's not like a bunker, but like I know a place, and I don't really know what this guy could do potentially. But I saw some shit that's kind of scary, so I feel like maybe it'll hold him, but do you just want an address? Do you guys have a car? Is he just like complying with you? Is he tied up? That's not a thing for me. This is...
Lyra's like giggling
a lot.
and make like silly faces like at Escher.
Oh
like,
my god!
Read the room, man. It is not the time. That was just like yesterday, right? How many days has it been? 2 days ago?
Yeah, so I think yesterday you talked to Billy, but it was like 2 days ago that you met Charlie at the club, or 3 days, 2 days, 2 nights ago.
And fast.
Okay. All right. I mean, I guess that's the best option we have right now. Are you gonna be there?
I mean, it's not like I own the place. I don't like live in a bunker. I'm not like a total psychopath. Do you want me to be there? Should I meet you?
Yeah, I think you should meet us.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you two go on a date, and
This is
the
not a
4
date.
of us will come with.
Yeah,
Did
exactly.
you-
Not typically how I
Wait.
go on a date.
Is he like listening to this? Can he hear me? Shit, does he know who I am?
Who?
This guy that you just caught, Lyndon.
No, he doesn't
Okay,
know
cool,
who you
cool.
are.
Okay, check it out. And I think he like gives you an address, right? And it's
Oh, Charlie is rich.
he
Interesting.
gives you an address that is in like the industrial district, right? There's like a bunch of like factories and stuff like this. It's like just kind of adjacent to the docks. And he's like, "Can you guys like get there in like half an hour?"
Can we get there in half an hour?
When I ask you
Yeah.
stuff like that, you could just be like, "Of
walk
course."
Totally.
It's a
Absolutely.
walkable city. He's like, okay, I'll see you there. All of you, yeah, I'll see all you guys there. And I think you
Okay.
hear like this muttering moment of like, God, I fucked that up, and then the phone clicks. You know?
If you want to keep your identities separate, maybe don't ask me out for drinks in the middle of a weird conversation.
Charlie.
That's just inner monologue.
Charlie.
He's
But it's
young.
cinematic, so you hear it.
Yeah, of course, we hear it.
Yeah.
So he's giving you this address in the industrial district, and he says that there's some place there you might be able to lock him up.
Cool.
Oh,
Great. I love this. Let's go lock
Do
up the
it.
murderer.
swimmingly.
So okay, so what's the deal? What's the plan?
So we're
Here we
taking him
go.
to the cops, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what was that all about?
We don't have time to unpack all that,
Yeah, we'll do that later.
but I have a place we can take him.
Yes. Bunker?
Ish, I think.
See, I knew
You
you
guys-
had.
We'll get the full scoop when we get there.
Like,
You're gonna lock me in a bunker?
are we becoming like wardens now? Or like, are we gonna have to like check in and bring food and empty weight? Like,
No, that was earlier today.
I think Lyndon is like pointing at Iggy as he's talking, like nodding, you know, like
Well, you won't commit to not killing people. So what are we gonna do?
Yeah,
Look,
what
I'm
do you
not-
suggest we do? We're walking towards the
Yeah.
Yeah.
address,
Walking
by the
and
way.
talking.
We can
He's
continue
like
having this
he
conversation,
starts like
but I'm not
walking
standing
with
around any
you.
longer.
Yeah, he starts like walking with you, and he's like, I'm not. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. You might as well lock me in a bunker. That's
Okay, then.
probably better than what might happen afterwards.
We're all in agreement. Except
Go
for
like
Iggy,
meditate
apparently.
or something, dude. Like just chill out.
Has that worked for you?
You know, I love this deflection thing, but it really doesn't take away from the fact that we know what's going on with you. Okay.
I think it's a matter of, you ever like shined a flashlight between two mirrors before and it just keeps like going back? I bet it's just,
Listen, I know I got shit to deal with.
Yeah.
But like
well,
I'm not going out
that's
killing
good.
people.
Not yet. He just says again.
Oh my God. Yeah, just keep on doing it. Yep.
And so
And
I
Go
think-
back.
I think Jonathan
Good
tries to
one.
like kind of break the tension a little bit, and he's like, "All right, man, we don't want anyone else to die tonight. We're just trying to get you in a safe place until we can figure out next steps. And we're not saying we're gonna lock you up in there for years and years. We're just saying for tonight, we're going to a place that only we know about and keeping you safe, and then figuring out what to do tomorrow."
I understand. I get it, man. I understand.
Jonathan, I'm envious of your way with words. Honestly.
He's pretty
truly-
direct. Yeah.
Yeah. Where's
Maybe
the only
we just-
weapons I got? Maybe.
I don't think that's true.
Appreciate you.
And so with that, I think that like the camera like pulls back over the neon, like kind of silhouette skyscape of the city, and we see this group of 6 people kind of walking, cutting through corners and turning down the streets, and you end up like we kind of fade back in. As it's about half an hour later, and you're all kind of walking through this really dingy, decrepit section of town. A couple of like big industrial warehouses on either side of the streets. And as you're kind of approaching, I think a lot of you like hear a voice call out to you like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And you see this like figure kind of just step out from this completely like pitch black alley between the 2 buildings, and they're just sort of like down this alley a bit. It's this younger looking person. They're wearing like these kind of torn jeans and black shoes, like kind of like banged up, like ratty looking leather jacket. Oh, yeps.
I tap him on the shoulder.
Wait, who do you tap on the shoulder? I'm sorry.
The guy who stepped out of the alley.
Oh, he's like, holy shit, man. Holy shit. You could just do that?
Sorry, Iggy. Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
You are?
I know. I mean, yeah. I'm
Bummer.
Charlie. I'm Charlie.
Charlie.
It's Charlie.
Ah,
Yep. It's
Jonathan
that's me.
Keeley,
I'm
nice to meet
Charlie.
you.
I walked Charlie to the group.
Like as you're standing there, like hands in the pockets of their jacket, like, hey.
Lyra like
And I think that
elbows
like Charlie
pressure a
is
little bit.
like, "Oh yeah, hey. Serial killer, you need a spot for,
Yeah, this
there's like
guy.
a basement here. It's kind of bunker-ish.
Yes.
Beautiful.
This is weird." And he like turns and starts like walking into the alley, like, "Just this way, I guess, where we'll lock up our human prisoner together." Come
And we're not
on.
locking anybody up. This isn't a prison kind of situation. We're
No.
coming in. It's
No.
gonna be all right.
I'm
You're talking
sure.
like you're wearing a wire, Charlie. Like you're
I'm
narrating
not.
something for someone.
Do you need me to? I'm not wearing a wire. I hate those guys. Yep, come on. And so I think he like brings you around the back, and there's like a kind of staircase leading down into like this kind of concrete corridor, right, to like a basement entrance to this building. And I think as he like gets down to the bottom of it, he's like, breaks out a key and he unlocks the door and pushes it open, and he like
He opens it for him from the other side.
Pop.
And so I think he like kind of leads you into the basement a ways, and you see there's like these big industrial kind of like stainless steel doors on either side, and he's like, these are old refrigeration units, they're not like running anymore or anything like that, we're not gonna like freeze the guy to death.
You just want to put him
That
into
would
an
even do
empty
the trick.
refrigerator.
Yeah.
Or former refrigerator.
They're I think reinforced with concrete because I'm pretty sure it was used for a human trafficking operation for a few years, and that's why this whole
Oh.
building got shut down. It's really some dark fucked up shit, man. But
Yeah,
Yep.
that's pretty messed up. Could
Mhm.
have gone without knowing that,
well,
but
just
thanks.
wanted you to.
Why do you know about this place?
Yeah, and how do you have a key?
Those are a lot of questions. Does it
Those are a
really
lot of
matter?
Yeah, it
I
does.
mean, now that you said that,
I
It's
think that
just-
this is a convince roll if somebody's really looking to get him to answer that. He's kind
Sure.
of like, well, so Asher's going to make a convince roll. Like,
Here, I thought I'd met the love of my life. We were gonna go on a beautiful date. Me and my little punk rocker boyfriend from the annoying club. It turns out he's a total weirdo. Like the story of my life. Okay. How am I gonna convince this maniac? Let's see.
This maniac.
I love it.
Oh, he's evolved
Faith in
quickly.
human potential?
Yeah, I think that
Ugh.
works.
It's like, come on,
That's
dude.
the
You gotta
opposite,
have a
dude.
good story here.
Yeah.
True.
Okay, let's see. Insatiable curiosity is not really convincing. That's not what
No.
not what we're doing here. Determination to achieve.
What do you think? Do you think it fits? Like, you want to know. I think that works. You're like persistent. You've been like
Yeah.
questioning a lot of stuff. Yeah.
I mean,
There's a
the
goal
personality
here.
is called stubbornly persistent.
Yeah. It's true.
Let's see.
I think this one has a
Uh,
lot of stuff.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Can't outcharm a charmer from my mythos.
I think that works. Yeah.
Enchanting glamour.
Yeah. I think the enchanting glamour is highly effective on Charlie in particular.
Apparently, person who asked me to go for drinks in the middle of this weird conversation. All right. You said that's like a beat up leather jacket that they're wearing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well then Princess Among Paupers too. LOL.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. Okay. I think that's all of them.
Okay. Can I hit you with emotional exhaustion?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I want to go with questioning your sanity because you're
I
pulling
kind of
on
yeah.
that. Do you
None of
want to
this
go
makes
with that?
any sense.
Yeah, because like he was very enthusiastic in the midst of a really like charged situation right there. So okay, we'll go with questioning your sanity, emotional weakness. So you're rolling with 4. You got 2 weakness tags. That's +2 total.
I think I'm rolling with 5, so it's plus
Ooh.
3.
Ooh, you're right. I missed determination to achieve.
Based on the math that the computer did for me.
Yep, I love computer math. We'll stick with it. Cool.
Vince.
Come on.
Oh, I'm gonna evolve my divination too. Oof.
8.
Okay.
Okay, so what's the what's like the potential status that you're gonna give to him?
I mean, this is a person who wanted to take me for drinks.
Mm-hmm.
So, can we go with like charmed?
Yes, that's exactly what I was
Yeah, we could.
Love it.
We
You know,
could.
do you know what I'm trying
I
to
do
go for
know
here?
what you're getting at. But so the thing to remember with convince is like either they tell you what you want or they suffer this condition. So I think
see.
it's more like rejected, you know what I mean? Or like in other words, like he's going to feel like if he doesn't answer this, he's going to end up blown off or rejected
Gotcha.
or
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
friend
That's more-
zoned.
That's better.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I think the idea of like, yeah, he's clearly like very concerned with your particular assessment of him at this stage. And so he's just like, look, it's a lot, all right? The key I got because I bribed a guy that used to work here because I sometimes do some things to make money that are not entirely above board, but do not involve harming other people. And
okay.
yeah, so the human trafficking operation I might have like inadvertently stumbled upon because of the watching and stuff. I like hang out in weird places at weird times, and I see dark people doing shit that they shouldn't, and most of the time I keep my mouth shut about it, except when it harms other people, because that's not cool.
Okay.
Is that like part of the stuff that happened to you when you woke up?
You wouldn't be wrong. No. Yes. Kind of.
What?
Fascinating.
Listen.
So are you one of us?
I've got
Like
a
Escher's
couple of
pushing
homeless
now.
guys I got to go meet with tonight.
Nope. No, wait.
And get some phones
You're-
back because
He's the one who told us that we were
seems
woken
like you
up.
guys took care of this pretty well.
Do.
Well, I mean, we can't just leave this guy in a fridge, even if it's not literally a fridge currently.
Well, I mean,
He's
we
got to
can-
have food. He's got to be able to go to the bathroom. Like, he's still a person with some basic human rights here. And
Am
if
I?
he's
Also,
locked in a
you're
fridge,
muted, Kurt.
if
You are
he's
muted.
locked in a fridge, then, like, we got to do something about it and, like, take care of him.
He can stay at my place. It's fine.
Well,
He
like-
just turns to Iggy
Little
like,
Iggy.
what?
And I think Charlie's like, I just figured you were gonna put him here like overnight or something while you guys thought through this. I mean, like that's kind of more the plan, right?
I mean, I guess that's a start.
Hey man, I don't have a name or anything. Here's like a Snickers bar. I think he takes a candy bar out of the jacket. And it's like, I think Lyndon's like scowling at him like,
Iggy, do you have any more like beers in your pocket?
I could fucking.
I think I
use
got
a
rid of the
beer.
last beer somewhere.
You traded it to the homeless guy for the phone. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
He's like, I could use a beer, but I'm exhausted and want to get away from you people. And he just walks over and opens the door to one of the fridges, like, okay. So he like walks
Fair.
in, like turns back, kind of looking at you, like,
I mean, are you cool? Like, do you need to go to the bathroom first or something?
At least in prison, there's toilets and food.
he says, no,
Yeah,
don't
do you
worry
need a
about that.
blanket?
You scared the shit out of me already. I'm good. Blanket,
Fair enough.
it's fine. It's fine.
Ugh.
I mean, I hate this.
It's kind of gross, I think
I hate
Charlie
this.
says.
I don't like this. I mean, this would be so much easier if you weren't like a murderer.
Given the supernatural element regarding the killings, I agree that a turning over to a non-supernatural group, such as the police, is not the best idea. But this just seems inhumane. And the offer remains,
Yeah.
he can stay at my place.
You don't want that, buddy. Believe me.
We're
Leave
trying to
this seat up or something? Like, what's the deal?
like making a case against yourself.
Food
Like,
in your fridge.
He's like, I'm exhausted. Just close the door. Go decide what you're gonna do.
Look, let him stay on that side. I'll sleep on the floor on the other side. Both terrible conditions for both of us. Bing bang. Everyone's in pain.
Charlie's wow, man, you are hardcore.
I can say too. It's nothing I'm not used to.
I mean, okay.
I'm not staying.
Me either, man. Hey, could I stay at
Hey,
your
you
place?
guys got a date to go on.
What? There's like a really I think awkward moment or whatever. Nick, what are you doing through the midst of all this? Nick's been quiet for a while.
Yeah, I mean, he's just watching everything happen. I mean, he sort of stated where he stands on it and doesn't really, and is also just lost in his own head about stuff that Lyndon said. But in terms of what to do, he's pretty much made that determination, but it's just going to follow along with the group that has nothing really to
So I think
say or
that
add.
this is just the moment of who's closing the door. Are any of you willing to push the door closed? There's clearly a lot of emotional weight in this moment as you're all kind of looking between each other, and Charlie is just this is kind of intense, and Lyndon's standing.
Iggy closes the door.
So Iggy closes the door, and I think
It had to be.
Charlie's very tentatively takes a padlock out and just
Whoa!
he puts it into the thing, and he's like,
That seems like a fire hazard.
you realize if we
Yeah.
don't lock it, it's just like leaving him in any one of the 10,000 rooms in this city, right? Hey buddy,
also-
open the door. And
I mean, didn't you have a key to get into this place?
I don't
Can't
have
we
a-
just lock that door?
And Jonathan and I are gonna be here.
I think he just lets go of the lock. He doesn't close it or lock it or anything, but it's still got the
Yeah.
key in the bottom of it.
Collapsed.
And it's
Yeah,
hanging through the
that's
thing
fine.
so the door can't be opened. But he's like,
Okay.
look, this is your party. I don't even know how I got involved in any of this, to be honest with you, but I'm just trying to
You
help.
spied on us.
Yeah.
I
kind of know a
guess
lot about
maybe
us.
a little bit, but more I was
Would've
spying
invited
on
yourself.
him, and we both were trying to spy on him, and it happened to be that you borrowed my homeless guy's phone. This is a lot. This is.
Well, what was your plan exactly if you caught him?
I
Thank
wasn't
you.
going to catch anybody. I was trying to figure out what the fuck was going on so someone could call the cops. Like I did with the human trafficking thing. I don't deal with this stuff.
Oh, if your plan is the cops, that will never work.
I hate the cops. But what do you do?
This future relationship is doomed. Doomed over.
Does Asher say that?
Yeah.
No way. I'm just trying to clarify. And I think
No,
that-
they're not that
Don't crush.
forward.
Don't crush
But
Charlie.
I think they do say that no, if your solution is to go to the cops, this isn't gonna work. Leaving this vague.
And I think that they're just listen, I don't like the cops, but how do you deal with the serial killer that also is some kind of monstrous nightmare once
Right,
you've got
exactly.
your hands on
So-
him?
That indeed is the question.
He's like, well, I
Is the
didn't.
door-
I'm sorry, Taylor. He's just like, well, I didn't get
Yeah.
this far down the path. You guys there's 5 of you. There's just me. And what are you saying, Lyra?
Lyra's just you said this door is reinforced, right? Listen, you remember that Erastus guy that we both hate?
Yeah.
whole bunch.
Uh-huh.
So he's he's behind this.
Behind the door?
By the door.
What's beyond the door? The murderer?
I'll tell you what's behind the door. A psycho killer. And I think that,
Yes.
boom,
Yes.
I think that the needle drops and we fade to black. And we as psycho killer
Oh my goodness.
rolls through the credits. What's behind the door? I'm sorry guys. That was intense. This was a
Yeah.
wild session.
Wow.
I feel like.
What an
Doing dark
episode.
things.
Crazy.
Is
Not
it
a mess.
darker to not kill somebody than to kill somebody?
Well, that's what
Keep him
happens.
prisoner, I
So-
suppose.
This is the eternal D&D problem of
Yep.
it's just
Yes.
emotionally cleaner to just kill them all. It's
Or-
tough. It's
No.
tough. Okay, before we talk through all this is where we geek out to the credits. So let's geek out to the credits and then circle around and assess where we're at here. You guys feel okay about that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So, how does everybody want to geek out?
I don't know. I was looking at them. I don't think any three of them apply for.
I'm going to parse the language closely, and it says
Yeah.
each player can answer one or more of the following questions. I'm going to not today.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I have anything that really applies for me at all.
Okay.
I don't think I can take a hurt point with more than one person. But I think that Lyra generally is like hurt because she felt a little abandoned out on the floor with Lyndon. So I think that
can I make a suggestion?
Crew hurt
sure.
point?
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we mark fade or crack on your crew theme?
Ooh.
Ooh. Ouchie.
As
Sure.
like there's clearly, as we like wrap up now, there's a lot of like conflict and tension about what do we do, how do we do this, all the like team building that's been happening leading up to tonight has now come to a place of like strain because there's no clear leadership. So I'm going to suggest perhaps all of you maybe mark a point of fade or crack on the crew theme.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
interesting. Okay. And I guess then Zed and Sheldon, what are you two thinking? You thinking anything about geeking out? Geeking out.
Yeah.
Refresh me again. Like, so if you use a weakness tag, that's marking attention, correct? Not a crack?
Yeah, that's marking attention. Yeah, that's the good stuff. When you call your weaknesses, you mark attention, and that's how we evolve, right? The fade or the crack comes when, again, it's hard because it's so player directed. But like Lyra did it tonight because she chose not to follow her identity, which like, don't look at me, right? So whenever you're disregarding one of your mysteries, like walking away from an opportunity to gain answers to your mystery or acting contrary to your identity, you can mark fade or crack there. You can say that like you're making the move, make a hard choice.
I see. And then that would be part of, like, if you wanted to address that level up, if you're cracking enough, like if there's enough strain on your card, that can be during this geek out, but it doesn't really apply to me as much.
This is for the geek out, like what they're saying to you is start thinking about, this is really like a prepping yourself for next time kind of thing. Start thinking about which one's under strain, which is pretty clear for Lyra. I think she's the only one with fade or crack at this point. But like, okay, so it's starting to fade. I should be very aware of this identity or mystery next session, but also what happens when it breaks. Because if they break, they flip. Like if Lyra loses this logos of her personality, a mythos will replace it. So it's like that foreshadowing for the group, really, of like where you might go, you know?
Did we burn approach from all angles?
You did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Currently approach
Okay,
from all
I thought
angles is
so.
burned.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I forgot to mark that, so I wasn't sure, but I remember it being brought up. I'm going to restore that and say that like while we're having trouble because we don't have a clear leader, we are like talking through a big issue together and like dealing with a big problem together. So I think that is still, I mean, we don't know where it leads yet. Like, do we get in a huge fight over the go to the police or not situation? But right now, I think it hasn't blown up into a huge fight. It's we're trying to find a solution together that we like feel okay about as humans. And that's important.
I mean, I'll double down and just say you caught the murderer. Not only did you catch the murderer, you got them to confess.
We we did do that.
And not only
True,
did you
we
catch
have
the
'em.
murderer,
Some of you did that.
I
I
know.
didn't do
but
any
you
of
caught the
that.
murderer, you got them to confess, and you potentially have like defeated like in a really dangerous moment like a very powerful demonic force that is specifically killing people to try to get rid of Nick. So there's a lot of like,
Yeah.
energy there.
We did accomplish a goal,
Mhm.
even if we have now created many more problems for ourselves.
Mhm. I mean, it's
At least currently they are just problems for us and not problems for society at this particular moment in time where we have paused.
Yeah.
So that's my contribution.
okay. So you are going to recover, and then Sheldon, you're going to sit tight, we said?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I'm gonna sit tight as well. Like with everyone else, I'll mark the crack on the crew theme.
Okay, cool. I dig that. So yeah, just big picture. What do you guys all think? How did you feel about that?
Oh, quick clarification. Do we all mark crack or no?
I think all of you mark crack. Yeah, I
Okay.
think that this is like a universal thing, and this is a little bit
I wasn't
outside
sure if
the
that was
rules.
like individual somehow or not.
No,
Okay.
because it like represents the unification of you guys,
Right. Yeah.
So I'll dig in a little bit more, looking about like the crew theme, kind of fade and crack, and what can happen there. The idea is like your crew can come apart once you accomplish your goal, and you all could build a whole new crew theme as it evolves, right? If that one breaks, like maybe there's a new one that replaces it, because there's different energy happening with all of you, different motivation driving you, right?
Sure.
Yeah, what did you guys all think of that? How do we feel about that? We dug into a lot of stuff tonight.
Yeah, it was a roller coaster.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Our first like real combat was really cool.
Yeah.
It felt
That was fun.
like very quick, you guys managed to like overcome it quickly, and I'll get better at this kind of stuff, at like telegraphing what's what. But yeah, the enemies are so strange in this because they're like these dangers, and they can be immune to like certain status types. But the idea is like any danger, anything you're trying to overcome, they have what's called spectrums, and it's the difference between like physical statuses, mental statuses, like emotional, like, and so somebody like like a bouncer at the club might have like a physical like spectrum of like 5. You would need to inflict 5 status tiers of physical damage to defeat them, but then you may be able to bribe them and like just give them 2 statuses there, of like bribed and like a convince, and like get past them. Like there's going to be different ways to overcome different problems that like vary, right? So for Lyndon, like you had him at like 3, Kevin. You inflicted like 6 tiers, and I have to do a little more homework because like you irrevocably fucked him up. Like you changed who he is as a person and as like a mythos in the city. Right? Like by doing that much like psychological onslaught to him, you like broke him in a very meaningful way that he will not be the same going forward from like that moment, So I dig that. That's like exciting to me.
Yeah, and like mechanically, I think clearly like statuses are just so like important and like can have such a big effect on things. Like I chose to just knock him over, where like if I would like maybe now if I go back, maybe I would like rethink that a little bit, like
So
learning this
like
like mechanic stuff.
Yeah, like in other words, knowing everything we know now, he was like impervious to physical statuses. So when you knock him over, if you would have been like, I'm going to give him a status of like winded 1, I would have been like, and twirled my mustache and told you like,
true.
he's impervious. But if you gave him humiliated 1,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. 'Cause that's
Yeah.
I
very much
was
how
like,
Rast
so
would
looking
operate.
forward to the reaction of just seeing him on his ass. Like that's what I wanted
And
to see.
this is like the other important note. Like, I say to all of you, I hate to like assign homework, but it's like every role playing game. Some of them are deeper than others. It's especially true of D&D. I think it's especially true of this game. The more you dig in, the more you're going to get back out of it. Like we're at the point that like most of this book can be overlooked. There's the whole like DM section in the back that doesn't matter to you guys. The character creation we're past now. You don't need to read like the city and the districts And like, you can. I've read it. It'll like put us on the same page. But like the moves, that section of like, here's the moves, and looking at like understanding like, wait, how can I use juice? How do I use clues? You know what I mean? Like, how
Or
can I
the dynamite that Kevin used.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for those of you who like have attention on things that look like stuff's going to grow or flip, scope that stuff out and start thinking about where you might want to go. And really, like, I think the best bang for your buck is just read the section on juice, and understanding how you can use it to like build story tags and apply statuses and yada yada, because it's so abstract and in the moment in the scene to like put together the narrative with like what you want to do and get to the end goal is like challenging. That's what excites me about it. But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll have to check all that out.
Yeah.
Get a grasp of that part. It's a bit.
Well, I hope you all had fun today. I enjoyed this. I was like nervous leading up to this one, like, oh boy, I don't want to like mess them up too bad. But then you just eradicated my Hishasura, the indestructible, buffalo demon. So I guess you did pretty good.
Yeah, learning how the combat works is definitely a learning curve, I think, because it's unsure because it's new, and like even reading it, it's just like, okay, well, how exactly does this work?
How does that work in
like,
play? Yep. No, it's challenging, I'll send some links to in the group chat or whatever. But anyway, I don't want to keep everyone too late. Why don't we like go around? Zed, what's going on with you this week? I almost forgot you last week. What do you got? Hype things up on the spot.
So many things.
Yes.
I'm here. I was on your stream on Friday playing Dungeons and Dragons for the Dungeons and Dragons in Discord podcast with the Post Show Recaps Patreon program. It's May 2nd. It's the start of the month. It's a great time to join us at patreon.com/postshowrecaps. I am podcasting about Final Fantasy VIII. You don't have to be a patron to hear those podcasts. We recorded a fun one today where we hyped up this Twitch channel quite a bit. And I'll leave the Sunday or the Tuesday story to you because obviously that's a collective thing. But also my new podcast is happening. In fact, in an hour, I think Pose season 3 is premiering.
Oh, hell yeah.
And myself and the great Grace Leader and a series of rotating guests will be talking about Pose every week. Also for the patrons of Post Show Recaps, another great reason to sign up. Although the preview podcast is available for free at patreon.com/postshowrecaps. That's what I'm up to. I'm Hard Rock Hope on the internet.
Cool.
Find me. Talk to me about queer stuff. Talk to me about video games, apparently, now.
Yeah. Ask them about Final Fantasy. Kurt, how about you, man?
I'm on the weekly podcast on Rob Has a Podcast around Top Chef. We're podcasting about Top Chef Portland, which they managed to film during the pandemic. Great season. We just got done recording earlier today. Haley Strong, myself, and we had Chef Jim Smith from seasons 14 and 16 join us.
Oh, nice.
And he's a great guy. He actually he's listening. He's watching every season of Survivor and listening along to Rob's.
Oh, wow.
That's fantastic.
And he really wanted to connect. Latanya wasn't able to make the podcast today. He's disappointed because he's a huge Star Wars fan and a huge debate club alum. And so he was hoping to connect with Latanya today, but she wasn't able to make the podcast, unfortunately. Other than that, you can find me at Kurt Clark on the Twitch, on the Insta, on the Twit. I've been streaming a lot of Immortals Phoenix Rising lately just because I couldn't stay away from it, and I bought all the download DLC. So even though I kind of had beat it, it's one of those games that has a lot of side quests and in addition a lot of DLC, so I went back to that, and it's just a lovely little game.
I was watching you stream it this morning. It looked really cool, man. I had you on for like an hour there at least in the background. That was really awesome. It looked like a fun game. You're flying around like an ASMR with like a sword and it was very cool.
Yeah,
it's fun. Now.
No, other than that, I'll be other places that Rich is probably going to talk about.
Yeah, you will. That's totally true. So who else? Sheldon, what's going on with you?
Yeah. So this week I just got done wrapping up the PvP and the patron D&D. It's the greatest community and such amazing DMs like Adam and Melissa. If you're listening this far into here, you guys are amazing. It was so much
Adam's
fun.
here right now. There you go, Adam. You're getting the love, man.
Pia's always in the chat.
Pia is the best. Yeah.
And I had a blast. Can't wait to do another live one soon. When it lines up with West Coast time. I know it's crazy, but I'm really enjoying all of the D&D through the Discord. And also, I have a podcast episode that just came out. My wife and I do a podcast called The Anglophiles, and we just did one on it's a cult classic called With Nail and I. It's like this British black comedy that we hadn't really heard of, but it's kind of like a precursor to Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas in a lot of ways. It's like Richard E. Grant's first role. If you like dark comedy and like Fear and Loathing kind of people abusing substances, it's really funny. Surprisingly quotable.
That Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas with Johnny Depp and Benicio. That movie was like, oh my God, formative for me in probably all the worst ways. Yeah. Hunter, you gotta love it. Cool. That's awesome. Taylor, what's going on with you? I almost called you Lyra. I'm like rolling through the Rolodex of all Taylor's characters. I was going to be like Lyra, Kisviel. Nope. Those are all not real people. Her real name is Taylor.
They're real in my heart. They're pieces of me, so it's okay. Ronnie422 on Twitter, Ronnie422_ on Instagram. Hopefully, I got my Cricut, so hopefully I'll be able to get an Etsy shop up pretty soon and make stickers, and maybe I'd hopefully like to start setting up a Twitch stream and playing some video games and stuff. So keep your eye out on all that stuff. But yeah.
Okay, cool. And Kevin, what about you, good sir?
So you can follow me on Twitter at KevMahadeo. Check out my website, mahaman.com, and of course on PSR, Post Show Recaps. We have this week hitting the Mighty Ducks Game Changers episode 6, where for the patrons specifically, Melissa Woodward and I are covering each episode of the show. This was a huge episode this week.
It was really good.
Won't say why, in case people haven't seen it yet. But we talk about it very excitedly. So check that out if you're a patron. If you're not, the first episode preview show that we did, where we talk about the films, is going to be made available to the public. So if you have people that like Mighty Ducks, direct them starting on Wednesday. They can check it out. And if they would like more, they can sign up for the Patreon at the $5 patron at $5 level, in which case they will get access to the rest of them. And beyond that, everything is super. We did our feedback show for Falcon and Winter Soldier this week, where Mike Bloom and I were joined always by LaTanya Starks. And this week, Josh Wigler rejoined us after a small hiatus for this show, and him and I are talking about what's coming next. That's not out yet, so I won't say it, but if you check out the latest episode, you'll find out what Josh and I will be doing on Everything is Super moving forward in the break between Falcon and Loki. We have something very exciting that I'm really pumped about, and we are also going to have a Everything is Super Invincible special that will be for the patrons, where Josh and I are going to be talking about the Invincible anime TV series on Amazon Prime. So we're really excited about that as well. And I think that's mainly it for now about what's going on here. There's other plans for stuff in the future, but I will leave that to the future.
I am super psyched to listen to the Ducks podcast this week, Kevin. I'm not going to say anything either, but the episode yesterday I watched it. It was like, that was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know.
Feels.
I really did not know I was going to be so enthusiastic about the Mighty Ducks TV show on Disney Plus this year. I wasn't ready for it, and I'm not going to lie. I started watching it because you and Melissa were podcasting about it, and now I'm like, oh yay, it's Friday, Mighty Ducks!
Yeah.
I get so excited, and I can't wait to see what's going on with Everything is Super. I'm really curious what you guys are doing, but Invincible's on my list. I want to dig into it this week, so very, very cool. I'm Rich Filiberto. This is twitch.tv/DMPhilly. We'll be back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific with Firelight Tales, Titans Airs. We're finally, after a month, we got the full team back together.
Goodness.
Taylor, Kurt Clark will be right there, along with my friends John and Mike. They are the 4 young youths from the village of Erkengard being hunted through the mountains. They have battled a dragon. They stand at the entrance to this ancient tomb of Gural Khan. What will happen next? I'm
Thank
really
goodness.
fired up about that. And then
I
the
can't
big
be
hype
evil
is
anymore.
Tuesday,
Can't do
8 p.m.
I'm ready.
Tuesday, May the 4th, 8 p.m. Dragonfly, D&D in Space, featuring Taylor and Kurt and Zed, and the aforementioned Melissa Woodward, Grace Leader, who also came up during the podcast tonight. That guy Josh Wigler's name was mentioned, and a dear friend of ours who likes to go by DJ LaBelle Klein on the internet. We'll leave him mysterious. We got a really cool crew of players. It's going to be super exciting. We've been prepping this for a month, doing world building. I made you all play Microscope. We finally built characters, and I'm really ready for it. So I can't wait for that.
Wow.
If anybody goes back through the archive, we recorded Dungeons and Dragons in Discord as the podcast I do for post-show recaps on the Patreon feed. You can get that for the $5 a month level 2. Go sign up. Those guys are rad. You want to play D&D with all of us. We're all over there. It's wild. It's a crazy world out there. But I think that's all you need to hear from me. Yeah. And so I think with that, we shall say farewell.
Good night, Aiden, where it's
Bye.
2:15 in the
Bye,
morning.
Good
everyone.
night, Aiden. Thank you for being here, dude. I appreciate it. Bye.